It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, back at it. Good to be back. Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and the Cannon at the controls. Boys, good to see you.
It's good to see you again, big dog. Welcome back, baby. Welcome back.
Thanks.
How you feeling? You good over there?
I took the little Monday off.
Yeah.
It was quite a privilege to be invited to the Buckeye Boosters outing at famed Scarlet.
Oh.
And I did it in the 96 degrees plus, and they took care of us. And President Butch Moore, who's been doing that for a dozen years, assisted by Amber Clark, who did a great job on the outing. Buckeye Boosters, as you know, nonprofit. They do all these events to support OSU athletics. They work with the department to make a donation back. And over the half century, they've probably given up to $5 million back. And it was just a who's who. So I did not belong anywhere close to this, but it was fun to see a lot of people that I covered, people that I've had relationships with. John Cooper was there, College Hall of Famers, the coach. Fred Puggich Sr., Silver Bullets, D.C., and spent some time with my Vikes. When I run into Ike Kelly, I'm in amazement. That's the first All-American linebacker ever at Ohio State. What a beast. Rick Smith, great hoops player from the past. And Matt Wilhelm, love Matty, national champion linebacker from 2002. Who else was there? Obviously, Coach Diebler was there. Ross Bjork was there.
Okay.
Did a great little talk beforehand. Jamie Skelton, who my first year in Columbus in 94 was a team captain and a 1,000 points club guy and a Big Ten player of the year. Ron Masajowski from the 68 champs. I'll tell you a funny story about Ron. So when we were doing the search, when we were covering the search for a new head coach after Coop into Tress, the two leading candidates were Glenn Mason of Minnesota, who had the greatest single audition you could ever have. He came in 01 and beat Ohio State in the shoe with Ron Johnson as his receiver. Ron Johnson, audio consultant, and a great receiver. And I had him, the rumor was that Andy Geiger wanted Tress, and that Archie and some of the guys from the past wanted Glenn because he was so associated with the program from the past. And I went over to Ron Masajowski's home and interviewed him about the decision. And there was a push for Glenn Mason. Years later, one of my very first years on this station, it might have been 2011, 2010, I can't quite remember. I have Glenn Mason on the show. And I wish we had the soundbite. I never kept it. So long ago now, 15 years. And I asked him, so do you want to go on the record now with that job? And he said, this is the first time I've ever spoken really publicly about it. He goes, I had it. I was taking it. It was going to be my job. And then had to slither back to his team in Minnesota. It was just such a weird time when Tress got it. But Ron was there. Kathy Gearing, who's Solheim Cup, top 10 at U.S. Open, great former golfer here at Ohio State, was there as well. Rod Spittle, who was teammates back in the day with John Cook and Joey Sindelar, and won a Champions Tour event, beat Sluman in a playoff. Ironically about Rod was the pro emeritus at Little Turtle when I first got there. So there were so many worlds colliding for me yesterday, and it was a fun time to hang with them for a great cause. And then my group, forget about these guys, forget about those celebrities.
Now the real A-listers.
So my group, my group, Tracy, Weston, Brady, and Dylan were as good of dudes and as good of players as I've played with in a long time. So this kid, Dylan DeWitt, who played golf at Findlay.
Okay.
I don't know how many years ago. I was the old man in the group, believe me. So I really have no idea how many years he was out of college. Matty, I'm telling you, as honest as I can tell you, I've never seen someone hit a golf ball farther.
And you've played a lot of golf with a lot of people.
I'm telling you.
That are very good.
I've never seen someone that hit it farther.
That you've played with, or you're saying
that I played with.
Played with, okay.
That I played with.
Got you.
The carts at Scarlet are set up with what they call geofencing. So you can't just drive all over the place. It's Scarlet. You know, this isn't some uni.
Like when you put the little thing on your dog and it zaps them if they go out of the backyard.
We don't like that.
For humans, though? You like it for humans, though, on a golf course.
Absolutely. You know what happens? You cheat a little bit. You're driving off the cart. You know, you're driving close to the greens. You're cheating, and it's a hot day. I started nicknaming him like Geofence because I've never had to get out of the cart to walk to a drive because he hit it too close to the green.
Every time. Just tanking it down there.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, so now you're asking, so ask the tough question, ask the right question to the presser. How far did he hit it?
Mm-hmm.
My guess is 360.
Really?
350 plus.
Easy.
We on 15 at Scarlet. 15 at Scarlet, the one that goes along the road. He took it over the bunkers. I think the hole was playing at that. It was short par 4, but playing like 385. We could have putted it. We weren't on the green, but we could have putted.
It was an option.
It was definitely an option. Now, with somebody that long, you would think, and he wasn't long and wrong. He was long and mostly right. And we did not win. We came in 14 under, clubhouse leading. And I looked at the guys, well, I got a bad news for you. I heard a rumor that maybe somebody went 15 under. And we did not birdie the last hole, which is one of those, is that going to come back and haunt you? So we went 14 under. About 20 minutes later, we're all eating and drinking, and we're at Scarlet. It's a great time. And Kathy Gearing's group just takes a mailbag and just hammers everybody at 18 under. 18 under.
They were cooking.
Oh, she's a star. Yeah. So, but all those people together raising money for the Ohio State program, and Butch handed over the sweet check to Ross. He was happy to take that envelope from him. But they have, so if you're a Buckeye fan and you've never been to some of the events that the Buckeye Boosters have put on over the years, definitely check it out. So thank you for giving me the day off yesterday.
Listen, man, you were
it was fun.
We held it down. Dave Biddle was in the house yesterday, so it was fun to do a show with Bids. You were out there rubbing elbows with the Who's Who. You said it was a Who's Who event. You cannot have a Who's Who event in Columbus, Ohio, and not have Anthony Rothman.
No. My group drew the short straw.
You can't have it.
When they saw that it was like I listened to the names I just read off.
Some ballers.
And then
some ballers for sure.
And when they realized, who are you? Yeah. What are you doing here?
Now, you were around Coach Diebler yesterday.
Yeah.
You know we've been trying to cook up this half-court shot for me for months. Did you run this by Coach Diebler? Said, my boy, Matty Ice, has been talking crazy. He said he can knock down 1 out of 10 half-court shots. Is the gym available? I know you got new floors over there that are probably getting put in. The new floors look really good. But did you holler at Coach Diebler for me and say, I need my boy Matty Ice out there on the court so we can figure this out?
It's going to happen.
Okay.
I can't tell you we discussed every detail, but we discussed enough.
It got brought up?
That I'm going to make it happen.
Okay. As long as you brought it up, I'm good.
Going to happen.
And I will embarrass myself.
And it might happen even more than you like, a little more elaborate. I'm working on something.
When you say elaborate, are you trying to crank up the pressure around me? Is that what you're trying to do?
I'm not like putting fans in the stands or anything like that. This is going to be a paid event.
When Tiger Woods, his dad, was training him when he was younger, like having a lawnmower behind him when he was starting a lawnmower when he was in the middle of his swing and those type of things.
It's funny. I never heard the lawnmower one.
I made that up. Didn't he do crazy stuff like that?
He used
when
to
Tiger
kind of throw stuff at him.
Yeah. That's what you're trying to do for me.
No. I want this to be as pure as ever. You said you could hit at least 6 out of 10 from half court.
I said 1.
I think you at least said a couple.
There's no way. I said 6. That would be crazy.
You said more than 1.
I'm knocking down at least 1.
Out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
And what happens if you don't? There has to be something on. We have to put some pressure on this other than pride.
I'll go on a shame walk like Cersei did in Game of Thrones. And you can...
That we don't need. There has to be something. TLC might be able to come up with something. We have to have something eventually that you get if you make it and you don't.
How about this? If I don't make it, I will wear an AFC North rival their gear on a football Friday. So let's say when we play the Browns or the Bengals, does that work for you? I will wear all Browns gear that Friday.
Thoughts on that punishment?
I was going to say if he hits it, he gets if he hits it, I have to interview Warren Sapp by myself. If he misses it, he has to interview Ed Reed by himself.
Warren's not coming back on the program. I hate to break it to you.
Oh, trust me, I know.
That alarm clock went off a long time ago.
That's right.
Next topic.
If you miss it, Ed Reed, you got to have a sit down with him.
I'm going to broker a reconciliation between Maddie and Ed Reed one of these days. I think this thing got off the rails for no real great reason. I'm siding with you on your feelings, but I do feel like,
I knew it was coming.
I do feel like we just caught him at a bad moment. He was in motion.
No.
He was walking. No. He was going to something.
Giving him this
Ice isn't a girl. That's why.
He went on to the next person, which was a female, and had time for her to take a picture. 10 steps after he walked past me. It's tough. Right. It's tough.
I thought you guys spent some quality time at the urinal together. Really did it. And then when you guys came out of it.
The only athlete that I was side by side with in that bathroom in New Orleans was Malcolm Butler.
Oh.
The famous New England Patriot that intercepted that pass from Russell Wilson. Yep. We were side by side in the urinal, Malcolm Butler and I.
You were at the urinal next to him going, hey, why'd you get benched against the Eagles?
It's good urinal conversation. You're trying, because that's an awkward time. You want to break the
I will say this,
silence.
though. Malcolm Butler cashed in on that moment. I mean, he's only at Radio Row, AR, because of that play. You don't make that play. Nobody's really thinking about Malcolm Butler and where he's at in his life. At
Titans
that point,
gave him a contract off that play, too.
And he made some good money as well. So, yeah, you're Malcolm Butler. You can go around Radio Row and get interviews because everybody wants to talk to you because you had one of the most shocking Super Bowl plays on defense we've seen in a very, very long time.
Who does he have to thank for that besides Russ? Carol Ann, was it Darrell Bevel? Who was
that? Sounds correct, AR. And it's pretty cool because I think there was a documentary made about either that team or that specific play, and he talks about the preparation from Bill Belichick and Bill Belichick hammering home that when you see this look, just go. Yep. Just plant and go, and he did that in the game, and he was obviously right.
All right, we have a nice menu for you today. Second hour, we'll talk to our man, Tyvis Powell. We will talk with Pat Murphy on Buckeyes today, as always, and we'll come back with schools and where is the power. We got a transfer battle. Which side are we on? You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Spring weather has arrived, and we all know what that brings. Warmer weather and severe storms. Well, when bad weather hits, we all know it can cause leaky roofs or even damage to your siding and gutters. The Roofing Guys are your local experts in roofing, siding, and gutters and more, providing top quality through every roof, every time. So it's just a small repair, full replacement, or even peace of mind. You need to contact my guys, the Roofing Guys, 614-626-7000, or visit them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Scotty Vegas here. We all know that summer's the easiest season for weight loss. Warm weather, lighter meals, being outside. Our bodies are primed to succeed, and Awaken 180 has your game plan. Reach your goals this summer with Awaken 180, the official weight loss program of summer.
Common Man here. I want to talk to you about my buddy Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. It's rare that a business comes along and offers you such great quality, service, price. If you or someone you love or like, or even strangers on the street tell you they Capace at Worthington Jewelers.
I'm Bob Capace, and I'm your guy.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com, where Columbus gets engaged.
Hey, it's Anthony for my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Summer savings, Rich is backing it up. He has rates as low as 0% and leases starting from $249 a month. How about a 25 Honda HR-V LX CVT two-wheel drive? Lease it for only $259 a month. 36 months, 30,000 miles with only $30.39 down. And all trades deserve a sweetener. He's giving you an extra $1,000 for yours. See them for all the details. Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Sometimes I hear a sparkling sound.
Like when we say, all you have to do is point?
There it is.
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
This 4th of July, Bob's Discount Furniture is bringing back 4 for the 4th. Spotlighting 4 must-have trendsetters for $7.99 and under, like my farmhouse chic Calvin bedroom, Play-Day sectional with pop-up sleeper and hidden storage, Consumer Reports recommended treasure mattress, and my 5-star Betty dining set in 4 gorgeous colors. So stop in or visit mybobs.com and celebrate 4 for the 4th. Oh, my Bob!
Bob's Discount Furniture.
Road trip! This summer at Tire Discounters, your tires are your passport to savings, because you're driving to Paris,
Texas,
then it's off to Rome,
Georgia,
and you'll be kissing the Blarney Stone in Dublin,
Ohio!
Right now, save up to $494 when you buy 4 tires, and that includes a free alignment and oil change. Stop at Tire Discounters before you see the world.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, ooh, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan.
Did you know 38% of Ohio's teenagers have spent money on gambling in video and online games? Items like mystery boxes, skins, and spin to win mimic gambling, putting children at a higher risk of experiencing a gambling disorder as an adult. So get in the know about youth gambling and start the conversation with discussion guides, parent resources, and more at ChangeTheGameOhio.org. That's ChangeTheGameOhio.org.
The outdoor drama Tecumseh is back this summer. The drama, the history, and the spectacle make Tecumseh one of Ohio's most beloved traditions. Tecumseh has provided thrilling live entertainment for 50 years, and the outdoor theater at Sugarloaf Mountain will provide a safe and memorable experience for your entire family. Get tickets now at tecumsehdrama.com. This message is made possible in part by the Ohio Arts Council. Tecumseh, experience the drama.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
It'll be another scorcher for us again today, so make sure you're taking care of yourself. Stay hydrated. Plenty of sunscreen. That sun will be out in full force. Afternoon highs in the mid to upper 90s across central Ohio, with our feels like in the low triple digits. For tonight, lows in the mid to upper 70s. And then for Wednesday, we will see temperatures in the mid to low 90s, but that feels like we'll still be right around 100 degrees. So make sure you're staying safe. Chances of showers and storms could start to develop in the afternoon. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Anthony's tennis shorts were so tight, they had to pixelate his crotch. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
This is a story that came out a few days ago. And it's just another illustration about where we are in college sports and whether the schools have any real power anymore as far as transfers and holding guys to stuff. And it's like everybody's getting theirs any way possible. And there's also a little bit of a surprising twist, Maddie, in who exposed Miami in Wisconsin's lawsuit. But I'll take you back for a second. Wisconsin's lawsuit against Miami is about tampering. And it's a really, really wild story that if you haven't seen it, it really just is a headliner in college sports now. So Ross Dellinger broke this story, I believe, for Yahoo, that the University of Wisconsin has filed a lawsuit against Miami for tampering and eventually kind of poaching a player on a college football player that's under contract. I don't even know what that means. Xavier Lucas. And Xavier Lucas, as I texted a bunch of my whiskey friends, think he's a very good player, that he played a lot as a true freshman, and the Badgers signed him to a new 2-year NIL deal.
Cornerback for the Badgers, yep.
And then supposedly 2 weeks later, the Miami football staff had a meeting with Lucas and his family. And then out of nowhere, he says, I'm in the portal. And then Wisconsin says, no, you're not. We just signed a new NIL deal. And then he basically says, do what you need to do. I'm out of here. And enrolls at Miami.
Going down to the 305, baby.
it's
messy.
Yes.
Right?
Wisconsin's kind of elevating their NIL contracts above NCAA bylaws. I really didn't know that he had signed any binding NIL deal. And as you look at this, was he breaching his NIL contract? It says a student athlete had signed binding NIL contract with plaintiffs, and absent further information, UW Mad will not enter him into the transfer portal due to the university contract. It would not put student athlete A into the transfer portal. Wisconsin, I really have no idea. They violated some sort of transfer bylaws. And now the NCAA, I don't know if they're going to, I really have no clue. This is so confusing to me on which side I would be on. Mostly I would be on the school, because if this kid, committed to signing this deal and they agreed to it and they got him what he wanted, and then he just got poached for a better offer. It's a bad look if you're suing players. I understand that. He's not named as a defendant in this, as far as I know.
No, I haven't seen that either. You would I think we'd all like to be in a world where you have these, quote, contracts that you would have both sides seeing it through and honoring their side of the contract. We know in the sports world, especially now in the transfer portal era, a lot of times there can be a lot of loopholes in this because of the optionality that these kids have. Coaches have had it for years. So I've never really knocked players for leaving the door open and leaving doors open now to grab what we know is generational money. So from Wisconsin side of things, Coach Fickle and the gang, and they're saying, well, wait a minute, you've committed to us, whether that's on paper, verbally, whatever that looks like on their side of things. And so we want you here as a player. We financially backed you as a player. And Fick and the gang are also saying, well, this is a heck of a player for us, as you mentioned off the top. Like, he's one of their top returning defensive players. So for a program that really needs to get things headed in the right direction, and probably quickly up there in Madison, the football aspect of this is we got to have this guy. Now, the legal side of this is very interesting to me, and it's really deep in the weeds type of stuff. But I think, let's say if Miami does win this case, I think what this opens the door up to is coaches now, whether that's head coaches, assistant coaches on staffs, I think will become even more aggressive with trying to poach players off of rosters, and even guys that may not even be interested in leaving the team that they're in or thinking about hitting the portal at the moment. And they're going to say, okay, we just watched Miami get away with this. Let's call X player or a couple players on this roster with all the money that we have and try to lure them away even more aggressively than what we've been doing already. And so I don't know exactly where this is going to go, AR. I really don't. I usually side with the players in this, but I don't know what all the quote paperwork and all the stuff that went into this decision for Lucas to commit to Wisconsin in some form or fashion with NIL and revenue sharing. Like, how concrete is that versus some of the other guys that are signing these deals or verbally committing in the form of NIL dollars and all that stuff? Like, there's just so much stuff in the college football world that I think needs cleaned up. And this is obviously one of them. And it brings back into focus the branch off of this tree that I think we need one transfer portal window. I think that can help slow some of these things down. You have two right now. You have the transfer portal in the winter that opens shortly at the end of the regular season, which we've heard stories about that not being as clean as it possibly can. And then you have the one in the spring as well. I think if we can, shave this thing down to one, some of this stuff will get cleaned up, but it's not going to obviously wipe away everything. But this story between Wisconsin and Miami is definitely eye-opening. And on the other side of this, no matter where this goes legally, could have an interesting domino effect on the sport.
I have no idea how you hold this kid to it. You could sue him for some damages here financially. There were two contracts that Wisconsin alleges that were breached, the contract with the school and the contract basically with the collective, that the collective contract would compensate him before July 1st. And then when the university contract would kick in after that. And what I mean by that is the money the school's allowed to directly pay him.
Yeah.
And so even if Wisconsin didn't sue Lucas specifically, he's going to be caught up in this. Now, Wisconsin has to show that he did breach the contracts. And the other part is to try to get Miami. And I don't know if that's going to be easy.
And the other part, too, AR, is this is the word that's hovering over this whole story is tampering for me, right? Like, we hear that a lot in sports. How do you really prove that? And how do you slow that down? Whether it's free agency in the pros or, heck, even, quote, free agency now in college sports, where do you prove that? Is it text messages, emails? I don't know. But to me, it's always difficult to prove tampering happened.
Yeah, see, here's the interesting thing for me, Maddie, and I said this earlier. So why aren't they suing the kid? They're not suing the kid because they're trying to make the school, Miami, look like the villain. That the kid was coerced. The kid was impressionable. The kid went for bigger money. He was committed to us. This is just the oldest school. You lost, what I mean by school, this is the oldest page in the book. You lost a relationship for a richer, better looking, whatever it is. And instead of blaming that person, you're blaming the person that stole them.
Yeah.
And because the precedent you set, because why wouldn't you just go after Lucas? He signed the contracts, get the money, get the damages from him.
Because you probably, my guess, AR, is from Wisconsin's side of it, maybe you don't want to burn that bridge.
If this
you
goes don't want to start suing players. Right. That's the problem.
If this goes your way legally for Wisconsin, you want Lucas to look around and say, okay, well, they didn't really point the finger at me. To your point, AR, they're pointing the finger at Mario Cristobal and that staff down there. So maybe I can go back to Fick and company and maybe we can still, have this deal and move forward with both football and money. In my world, the best way to settle this is we get Luke Fickell, we get Mario Cristobal, and we get him in a tables and ladders and chairs match. Put him in the ring. I've got 2 jerseys above the ladders, AR. There is one Xavier Lucas jersey in Wisconsin colors, another one in Miami colors. Mario Cristobal, Luke Fickell, whatever coach climbs the ladder and grabs said jersey for their program, they get to acquire the services of Xavier Lucas.
Luke's a champion
That's how you
wrestler.
figure it out.
He can do a pegboard like nobody's business.
That's how you figure this out.
I think that
be a good ladder. It'd be a good ladder match between Fickell and Cristobal.
You don't want nothing's bringing that kid back. Nothing
to Wisconsin.
Nothing.
Unless it's a big old bag.
No, you're not winning anything. They gave him. This was supposed to be one of the richest NIL deals. I don't have any particulars on it, but that's what I've read. Nothing's getting that kid back. And here's Miami's point of view. I'll tell you what, I'll give you that in 2 minutes because there may be some great irony to the story. That's next. Rothman Ice and the Fan.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
Introducing the new Dell AI PC, powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps do your busy work for you, so you can fast forward through editing images, designing presentations, generating code, debugging code, summarizing meeting notes, finding files, managing your schedule, responding to Jim's long emails, leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do. No offense, Jim. Get a new Dell AI PC starting at $749.99 at Dell.com/AI-PC. How those ahead stay ahead.
I need a small order of sheet metal to repair something in the shop. It's not much, but can you help me out?
At Metal Supermarkets, no order is too small.
Wait, really?
Yep.
What about small home projects?
Yep.
For a car I'm working on?
Yep.
Any kind of metal?
Yep.
Cut to size?
Yep.
With no minimum order?
Yep.
How about 1,000 cut pieces of aluminum flat bar?
Yep. Choose from over 8,000 types, shapes, and grades of metal in any quantity you need. And yes, we're serious. Any metal, any size, ready fast. Locally owned on Wilson Road.
Dr. Marta Lavelle of Urbana and Darby Dental Smiles on having First Bank of Central Ohio as a partner. It has been great working with First Bank of Central Ohio. They helped me achieve a huge goal, becoming a business owner. The bank made it so easy. They helped me through the whole process. It's been great ever since.
Experience what it's like to be first at First Bank of Central Ohio. Visit fbcentralohio.com for more details. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The perfect afternoon parlay. This is Rothman and Ice.
This is from a fan's take, basically, or reporters that are big fans of a school that cover the program. This says it's a clear message from Wisconsin. If any student athlete dare leave your NIL deal early, if we don't sue you, we will at least sue the school you transfer to. We will not hesitate to drag you and your mother into litigation. Wisconsin is crazy if they think this won't affect their recruiting. I don't know about that. This kid got a hell of a deal. He bolted on it. What do you want him to do? Say, thanks, good luck at Miami? Just take it lying down? Like, honestly, I don't. It's why I'm telling you, it's a weird tight rope to walk for Wisconsin. And it's my guess is why they didn't sue him. And they're going after Miami. They're going after the big boy. You tampered with our guy. He signed. You had no right to poach him. He was under contract. And you know what Miami's probably saying? Talk to the kid. If he wasn't gettable, we wouldn't have gotten him. And so speaking of the Badgers recruiting, I guess I'd have to go back and look at this. So the NCAA, whatever power they have, they did deem that Fickell's staff had committed some violations in 23, impermissible contacts with recruits. Like, how ironic is that? The Wisconsin staff members made, I mean, this is much different than poaching a kid, but...
And I'm not going to crush Fick for that in the same way I'm not going to crush Miami for doing what they've done. This probably happens a lot.
Well, what it proves to me now, Maddie, is nothing's done. Nothing's ever in stone. Wisconsin probably felt like they had, listen, you're signed, NIL deal. We got to try to find out what that was for or how much. But we have no idea how much money of their pie they were allotting to Xavier Lucas.
And it also, I think, brings into focus, because I hear you, AR, brings it how many kids would really dig in the way that Lucas is digging in, saying, well, Fick, Wisconsin, you got to do whatever you got to do. I'm leaving regardless. Like, I don't know if there's a lot of players that would really dig in that way. I think it takes a guy that's pretty strong-willed to do that and want to go down that road. I have to imagine there's a lot of guys that if they caught wind of this from their head coach, AD president, that, hey, we're not letting you go and we're going to take this to court, that there may be a little moonwalking going on. And so I think that's why this is a little different, right? Is this guy is saying, regardless of what you tell me, regardless of what you plan on doing, I'm going down to the beaches in Miami to play for Mario Cristobal.
They don't want him back. They don't want him back.
No, I get that. I'm just saying.
They're suing Miami, in my mind, because of tampering. They want some damages paid here. They know they're not getting him back.
I still think they would want, if he said, I'll come back,
well,
I think they would leave the door open for him.
Maybe, but it's just so unrealistic to me that would even happen. I think what Wisconsin's doing, and I think they're in full right to do this, is to set some precedent that we're not going to stand for tampering, and somebody's got to step in. When these, like, this is another branch off this wild, wild west tree that we're in. Like, this is another branch off of it. You thought you had him. You committed to him. You not only got him this NIL deal, well, he could say he got it for himself, but they may have brokered it. But they were going to give him maybe a big piece of the new pie that just got approved, and then Miami swoops in and gets him. I agree with you. Other schools have done this, and the funny part about it is that Wisconsin got nailed for making 1 million calls to 1 million recruits, that impermissible. But that's not necessarily tampering.
Yeah,
that's just kind of stepping over the line. That's not tampering. And I guess
my question, another question for me, AR, and I haven't seen this anywhere, is the money that has been or was committed from Wisconsin to Lucas.
This says that the complaint alleges, that I've read, that this kid was offered one of the largest NIL financial commitments of any Wisconsin athlete.
Has that money already been paid out to him?
No, I think.
Or is that something that happens over time?
I don't know how much money the collective has already paid him.
Yeah.
And that's something that's why the collective will have to work out with him. If they paid him See, but here's the other thing. Sometimes you're paying these kids just to commit now.
Right.
Like, and then guess what? Debt's been paid. I committed.
Correct.
Like the game that's being played right now is just off the charts, no rules. And Wisconsin alleges that Miami, what are they alleging? The obvious, that they gave him a more lucrative deal than the one that Wisconsin gave him. And if that's true, one of Wisconsin's largest NIL financial commitments,
let me ask you this.
Miami just went in there and just said, we got more?
Let me ask you this. How much do you care as a fan of not only this sport, but sports in general? How much do you care about tampering?
Oh, I think it's fairly big. If you're committed, if you've got a large financial commitment, NIL, and the kid agrees to it and he signs the NIL deal, whatever he signed with the collective, and now you're signing something maybe with the school, if they're going to give you a big piece of the pie, they can pay you. I'm big on that kind of commitment. You signed
Let me ask you this. Well, it's a little different. It's not because I'll use the NBA as an example. And when free agency hits, that window opens up, and it's usually like 12:01, whatever, on a Wednesday. Free agent deals happen at 12:02. The framework of these deals are done, right? You're talking hundreds of millions of dollars over 5, 6, 7 years. We all know when we see that those deals are not getting done in 2 to 3 minutes. And so this is a little different, but that doesn't rub me the wrong way when I see that type of tampering. And even in this story, I'm not really bothered by what Miami did. Because like you said, if the kid didn't have one foot out of the door, this wouldn't have been as easy for us to accomplish as it was. And so I feel for Wisconsin in this. I do a little bit, because they did what all they could do, which was, hey, we're backing this kid with money and all of that stuff. But I'm not really bothered by the, quote, tampering in this story from Miami's thing.
I just think it just sets it just makes it even grimier. It already is. And I'm not for these guys getting what they can get. I'm just saying, like, this part of it now, like, you don't even respect that part of it. And that's why I'm equally blaming the kid and Miami. They obviously did it together. But this angle of, because I think what Wisconsin is doing here is something out of principle. They're going to say that we promoted this kid. We gave him benefits. We've lost financial stuff we've given him. And Miami's saying, really? You lost a freshman DB from a 5-7 football team, and you're going to claim that this is somehow going to take the house down? No, it's not about that. It's about trying to deter this from happening again.
Big picture stuff.
Yes. I don't care how many tickets Wisconsin would fail to sell to Lucas fans. That's not it for me. It's about trying to hold Miami accountable if they did tamper, and I don't even know what tampering is anymore. That's the whole problem with all this is what I said at the very beginning. I really don't know what it is and what you're allowed and what you're not allowed to do when it comes to this stuff. I don't know if they're going to get anything out of it. I just know that Wisconsin's lawsuit is not seeking to get him back, that they stole him under false pretenses. Their lawsuit is to seek what most lawsuits seek, damages. You are paying. You've done something illegal in this college football world, if that's even possible anymore.
And I think in a way where we saw Josh Heupel, Tennessee, their decision makers really dig in on the Nico situation and say, okay, you know what? We respect your talents, Nico, but where this has gone financially and the mess it's created, we're good. We're going to open the door for you. You could see your way out. I think there's a lot of coaches in athletic departments and ADs that looked at Tennessee and what they did and said, we respect what you did there for drawing a line and digging in. And they had a lot of backing in that. I think in this situation, there's a lot of people, or probably coaches that are wanting Wisconsin to win this thing.
100%.
They want Wisconsin to win this because if Miami wins this legally, this could get even messier. What does if Wisconsin wins this thing is possibly bring more structure into a situation that at the moment doesn't feel like there's a bunch of structure and a lot of clean pathways to really identify the right way and the wrong way to do this NIL and transfer stuff year in and year out.
That's why I don't believe, and I'm not a lawyer. I really have no clue. But if Wisconsin is suing to deny this kid the right to transfer, then I'm missing something. I don't think they're doing that.
No, it's a tamper.
I think that ship has sailed, and because if you're suing him to deny him the right to transfer, then he would be an employee. He could be restricted. They're not employees.
The other part of this, too, that I think that is real is they believe that he's going to be a good player for them. I don't know if Wisconsin would dig in on a guy that they don't deem as a dude that's going to be playing a whole bunch of snaps for them and a key to them winning.
So I don't even think that's it. Well, they go hand in hand, Matty. What I think it is they think he's that good. There's no doubt about it. But that's why the money's connected. They're not going to get the player back. So what we can get is maybe the money and the damage, and then maybe set a deterrent moving forward and set a precedent that this can't happen in the schools that do it. And here's the other thing, and this is maybe the big thing that I wouldn't know. We'd have to get an NIL lawyer on, which I will try to do at some point. Are these contracts, how flimsy are they? How flimsy are they?
Yeah.
Because if you thought you could prevent kids from leaving based on the House settlement, which I don't know, wasn't final yet maybe at the time. So, but I come back to this. Did the kid breach a contract? And my gut says he did. And so that's on him. He'll have to live with it. He probably doesn't care. Family probably doesn't care. He's going to a better offer, whatever it is, and they can spin it any way they want, that he wanted to go there or play for that coach or this opportunity or whatever. Seems like at the end of the day, it's all about he got a better deal, and a school decided to take a big swing and hit a home run, and now one school is saying that is wrong at the core of it. We'll come back, and we'll play a little hardball, or one team will, with a first-round pick. Why are they still doing it? We'll get the details next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And, well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle in Market District. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting lower prices. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle. Experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle today to see how easy it is to save.
Summer is finally here. That means long days, warm nights, barbecues, sporting events, and that vacation you've been planning for months. The last thing you want to deal with is a leaking roof or unexpected damage to your home. At Newman Roofing, we understand that life gets busy and your time is important. And that's why we designed our entire process around you. Whether it's your roof, siding, or gutters, we believe in doing things the right way, not the rushed way. No high-pressure sales, no pushy pitches, just honest conversations from professionals who respect your time and your home. When you call Newman Roofing, here's what you can expect. First, we'll take time to diagnose the issue, not just slap on a quick fix. Then we'll present clear, quality solutions and answer your questions so you can make the best decision for your family and your budget. And right now, we're offering special financing options so you can protect your home without putting your summer plans on hold. So go ahead, fire up the grill, pack your bags, or hit the ball field. Let Newman Roofing take care of the rest. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
When you join the plus side with AAA, that's all you'll have to do. Or you could learn to change your own tire.
Hey fam, what's up? Today I'm going to teach you to change a flat. Before we start, make sure it's not raining, or hailing, or lightning.
Skip the hard work. On the plus side, get more with AAA. Go to AAA.com/plus side.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Make this your year. Looking for a new career in the high-demand fields of IT and cybersecurity? Attend classes live, online, or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
Listen to Financially Fit Radio with Corey Sickles this Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN, covering topics like what you need to know about annuities and how to stay healthy and enjoy retirement. Financially Fit Radio this Saturday at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN.
If it feels like the hockey season just ended, that's because it did. But it's time for the draft, baby. Join Bob and Dylan live from Nationwide for the Jackets Draft Show.
Sponsored by Ohio Health.
Friday night at 6 on The Fan.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times?
You're playing the lute. Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things. Like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Want to know anything about the Fan's contests, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Their live golf team name is Ice Dogs. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, it's gone a day. Nothing really happened with the Bengals except his agent, the agent for Shamar Stewart, the young draft pick out of Texas A&M.
And Jamar Chase going viral for ducking and dodging a girl trying to give him a hug. Have you seen that video?
No.
It's hilarious.
What do you mean a girl? Just a fan?
I don't know where he was, but there's a video of Jamar Chase going around, and I don't know if this was a random girl, Bengal fan, whatever, but it looks like she's trying to approach Jamar for a little hug. She was excited to see him, and Jamar puts a little, foot in the ground and hits her with a little juke move. And her face after it is absolutely hilarious. It's priceless. She was obviously salty about it, but, that's some of the Bengal news going around right now is that Jamar Chase is in week 1 form already, ready to make DB's mix because he's out here ducking and dodging hugs in the streets. You got to check it out.
All right, I'm going to look at the video. The girl was just right there.
Yeah.
I don't know if she was a part of that little group or whatever. So I'll try to do the play-by-play on this for you. He gets out of a car, or is he coming around a car? He's coming around a car. And he's going to shake hands with another guy. I don't know if these are just fans. I feel like they could be a couple of rando fans that just saw that he was there. And then they're amongst parked cars. Maddie, where did you say this was?
I don't know the exact location of this.
And then she, very casually, not really moving, he came towards them.
It was in New York City.
Yeah, that looks good. It looks like they're in a valet area where some big, expensive cars are being parked.
Yeah.
And then he goes right up to her. I'll tell you what. She puts his arm around him, and then he just kind of gives her a brush off. He just kind of keeps going.
He never really. Yeah. The Ed Reed and Matty Ice experience right here.
Oh, he's getting into a vehicle. He was headed to get in, and then he turns around. He's going to the other side. And then she's getting into a big-time SUV. Yeah, she was on the, as I like to say, the pay no mind list. She was ranked number 1.
He's locked in, man.
I mean, if you didn't know her, you didn't know her. I mean, I don't know what, but that is a funny look from her.
Yeah. But she just looked like that she was really enjoying, like she kind of looked like she was ready for a big moment on camera. Like, oh, here comes Jamar Chase. Mm-hmm. And then when he kind of gave like a little side hug and keep it moving.
Because she wasn't trying to go really she wasn't going for the church side hug. She's going for the hands above the neck, like we're really bringing it in, like I'm wifey type of hug.
But I don't think she was going both arms. It was just kind of a one arm.
And she had a big smile on her face too. Dude, She looked like she was really about to enjoy this.
For sure. She got the Birkin bag in the other hand. That's why. Or she got that Birkin.
Yeah, I'm unaware of what that is.
The Birkin, those are just really expensive purses.
Trendy right now. Is that the deal?
Yeah, Birkin. Those cost you about,
By the way, she went one arm. She didn't go for the whole long lost.
But it's the above the neck part. That's a bit of a statement. I've learned that the hard way. Just trust me.
Yeah, he just paid her no mind.
Oh, yeah.
That's all it was.
You know it hurt her, too.
If you want to get into the Birkin world, there's Birkins for about $38,000.
Sounds like you're in that world now.
$49,000. Like, yeah, these purses are for real. They're for real.
Yeah, not in the market. And if I was, it would be a knockoff, probably.
I feel you on that.
She also got a BBL.
Get you a Firkin, not a Birkin.
Nothing
wrong with the BBLs, TLC.
You guys are all... It's just the all acronym show.
I just support anybody that wants to get their body together. Male, female, do whatever you got to do to make you happy. BBL, whatever. Get it done.
Give me some others. Give me some more acronyms.
The spray on abs, whatever you got to do to get confident.
Spray on abs. The calf implants.
Exactly. Come on.
If you work in TV, maybe you fix your hair a little bit.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that in St. Louis TV.
Whatever you got to do.
Yeah. I could use a little of that if I was still on TV, but I'm not.
You're on YouTube. Don't short yourself.
Yes. Natural. Always want to get it right for YouTube.
A lot of money in the YouTube world.
Hey, leading into this next topic, by the way, do you know who retweeted our show tweet?
Uh-oh.
What was the show
solely
tweet?
Because I mentioned Shamar Stewart. I mentioned that Shamar Stewart's agent's doing his job. We got retweeted because it seems like there's a former NFL player who I imagine that once upon a time, Anthony Rothman would have been a big fan of, who, from what I can tell from his feed, and I looked through it, it looks like him, but he's got some sort of algorithm on his profile that anytime that you mention Shamar Stewart, he retweets it because they're represented by the same agent.
Ooh, this is interesting.
It's a great little tease.
It really is. We know
I'm
now
going to try to figure this out.
That his agent's name is Zach Hiller.
Yes.
Okay.
And the reason that I know this is because he has, for business inquiries at Hiller.
And Zach Hiller is also spelled like Zach Taylor. They're doing Zach no K at the end. This is Z-A-C. So we got a former player that retweeted your pre-show tweet. And this is a former Bengal? Can I get that clue?
No, a former Viking.
Ooh.
A former Viking retweeted us out of the blue. And I looked at it. Adam Schefter follows him. All the guys follow him.
Former Viking.
And I did some deep diving.
Is it Chris Carter?
No. It's more recent than that.
All right, just tease it.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll have to figure this out. I'm not really sure why he would.
He's got a brother in the league still.
He's got a brother in the league. I was going to guess Adam Thielen because AR and Adam Thielen had a
pretty tight now.
Nice little bromance going on.
Yeah, a lot more than that girl had with Jamar Chase. All right, we'll get to that. We'll get to the Shamar Stewart news if there is any.
Yeah.
But they are definitely staying aggressive when it comes to this. And why wouldn't they? Why would you play hardball with your first-round draft pick? We'll get to that after a SportsCenter update. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
1, 2, 3. Here in the Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH. That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Hi, this is Ron from the Good Feet store. Are you standing on painful feet all day? Don't lose hope. We want to help you live without pain. Discover your options and visit goodfeet.com or stop in today at the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway in Grove City.
Scotty Vegas here. We all know that summer's the easiest season for weight loss. Warm weather, lighter meals, being outside. Our bodies are primed to succeed, and Awaken 180 has your game plan. Reach your goals this summer with Awaken 180, the official weight loss program of summer.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Summer's heating up, and so are the deals at Germain Toyota of Columbus. Whether you're cruising to the lake or hauling your weekend gear, Germain, well, they've got the truck to help you get it done. Right now, get 2.99 APR for up to 72 months on the rugged 2024 Tacoma, or step up to the powerful 2025 Tundra, also 2.99 for 72 months. These summer savings, they won't last forever. So visit Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or online at germaintoyota.net.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Right now, Heritage Farm boneless chicken breasts are on sale for just $2.49 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here to help keep you on the road so you can soak up all the summer fun. The road tunes.
Take me out to the ball game.
Hotel pools. Emergency ice cream stops. The sunscreen and bug spray everywhere.
It's in my eyes!
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here for it all. So stop in for a quick oil change before you go. Only takes about 15 minutes. No appointment needed.
All power, zero compromise. Eagle cordless outdoor power equipment features advanced lithium battery technology that exceeds the power and performance of gas without the noise, fuss, or fumes. From mowers and trimmers to blowers and pressure washers, one battery powers over 90 tools. No wonder it's the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Power beyond belief. Visit EgoPowerPlus.com to learn more or to find an Ego retailer near you. That's EgoPowerPlus.com.
The Peace Lily is so last year. Hey, has anyone worked with fiddlenecks?
Shelby's popular flower shop is in full bloom.
We just got a request for an arrangement that evokes air. Who's up for that challenge? No?
She needs to hire a floral designer to nip foliage faux pas in the bud.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. The Columbus Blue Jackets have announced their preseason schedule for the upcoming season. The 7-game slate gets underway with back-to-back home games September 21st and 22nd against the St. Louis Blues and Buffalo Sabres. It wraps October 4th in Washington against the Capitals. It's a big night in Cincinnati as the Reds host the New York Yankees at 7:10. It's the MLB debut of pitcher Chase Burns, who was the number 2 overall pick in last year's draft. He'll start opposite Carlos Rodon. Coverage over on ESPN Columbus gets underway tonight at 6:40. The Cleveland Guardians return to Progressive Field to start a series with the Toronto Blue Jays at 6:40. Logan Allen gets the ball for the Guards, Eric Lauer for Toronto. And the Columbus Clippers are in Iowa to face the Cubs at 7:35. Breaking sports news as it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The best bet on the radio. This is Rothman and Ice.
Second hour of the program. Tyvis Powell jump on at 1:30, and we'll discuss Brownies and Buckeyes and a lot more. Shamar Stewart, still unsigned. Agent getting aggressive. Before we get to that, you're saying when you tweeted that we were going to talk about this, a former great player or just former Viking?
Probably a Pro Bowler, I would imagine so.
Okay.
No, I don't think anyone's going to consider him like the greatest of his generation, but there was definitely a point in time where you would want him on your fantasy team.
Oh, okay. So we got an offensive player. That was a good hint that I just picked up from TLC. An offensive player that you would have wanted on your fantasy team at some point in time. AR, this is your squad. We're not. We already said Chris Carter. No.
What years are we looking?
We're talking about that within the past decade. Between 15 and now, we got skill position. I told you he's got a brother still in the league.
Oh, Dalvin Cook.
There you go.
That was the hint.
So right? Dalvin James Cook, brother of James Dalvin Cook.
I was hoping you would go Stephon Diggs.
Oh, what was weird?
That would have been incredible.
What was weird though? What threw me off was that I said, "Is he a former great?" And he's like, kind of Pro Bowl.
Yeah, I think you got to put some more respect on Dalvin's name. I think you
undersold Dalvin a little bit. Well, here's
what my next hint was going to be, and this would have been like the one that gave it away. But I was going to say, player who people thought was really good got released basically as a budget cut. Everybody freaked out, and then his career was over, so the Vikings were justified anyway.
I never freaked. Maddie knows this.
Oh, I was. You were good.
I was pushing him off the team.
Okay, RG3 wanted to redo the entire CBA for running backs after that.
That's ridiculous.
How far we've come in the running back world over the last few years. But no, I was foolishly talking myself into, because remember, he signed with my Ravens.
Yeah.
For the back end of, what was that, 2 years ago now? Not last season, but the season before. And I'm like, okay, why not? You know, maybe he's got some goods. You pair him with Lamar, he's washed.
Yeah, because then he went to Dallas.
Right.
Yeah.
Remember, he first went to the Jets and was Breece Hall's backup.
Correct.
So he was a 1,000-yard rusher with the Vikings, and everyone's like, can you believe that the Vikings just got rid of this guy?
Yeah.
And then he went to another team and didn't even start. And then now, because I guess he and Shamar Stewart have the same representation.
Interesting.
Somebody has put it into Dalvin Cook's algorithm that if you mention Shamar Stewart,
don't sell us short.
Right. Maybe he's just a fan of the show.
The show's a tremendous slouch.
Dalvin Cook.
Let's just hope he just did it.
Regular listener of this show.
Absolutely.
I tweeted it out.
He knows Vikes.
And by the way, I love the setup of the brothers' names. Dalvin James Cook, and James Dalvin Cook. I love it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, if you look it up, that's their official government names. Dalvin James Cook, and his brother for Buffalo is James Dalvin Cook.
Wow.
Yep.
His agent has ripped the Bengals for what he's calling a sign it or else offer.
Yeah. So we got agent Zach Hiller representing Shamar Stewart. He went on Sirius XM NFL radio and had this to say, quote, contracts are based on precedent. So when Shamar has never asked for anything more or less protective than any of his teammates, it's a simple fix. It's just say, hey, this is the precedent. Let's keep the precedent. If you want to make changes to your precedent, it should be a negotiation. It should be give and take. It shouldn't just be, hey, we're changing this and sign it and go scratch. I don't know what that means, but go scratch, that's a new one for me. But that's the agent. That's his take right there. Yeah, I've never heard go scratch. Yeah. That's new. It's a rare one for me.
All right, so we got spinning the block, we got go scratch, and we got dorm storming.
Have you ever told anybody to essentially go kick rocks in the form of go scratch?
No, never. No.
Me either. Yeah, no.
We got to remember that one.
Contract situation is weird. Training camp's a month away, or a little over a month away, and you're playing hardball with a first-round draft pick, presumably who you really like. So it's counterintuitive to think that you might want to recoup some stuff, because that means, I guess it's the ultimate insurance policy they're looking for. But I really, when this story first came, it was weird. Why start with him? But you got to start somewhere, right? I don't really, he's the one. First guy through the wall gets bloody. Like this was, he's been outspoken too.
He left.
He's not afraid to be outspoken, so that's interesting.
Well, I think AR, what's baked into that outspokenness, if that's even a word, is the veterans in that locker room, I think, are supporting him. I think there's been a little bit of a battery put in his back to where he feels confident enough to say things on record that he said, and maybe that's just a rookie not knowing any better.
He said he was 100% right.
Right.
Publicly.
Yes. And that, what did he say? They're more interested in winning arguments than winning games.
Yeah.
And so I think, look, that could just be how Shamar Stewart is wired, and we'll learn that in time. Or some of the guys that have been around for a while that had to go down this road with the franchise are saying, nah, Rook, we got your back. You are right. You have every right to feel this way. Say what you need to say and do what you need to do. And in the form of doing what he needed to do was him saying, I'm out. I'm leaving the grounds. I'm leaving the facility. I'll see you at training camp, or maybe I won't. And so now that we're here and we've been here for a while, your mind, I think, should go down or needs to go down the road of, okay, so what's next for him and the franchise if this continues to stay the way that it is? And so if he wants to dig in and miss games during the regular season, he's got until the Tuesday after week 10 to make his contract official and be eligible to play for the rest of the season. So that's one option. Another option is he could sit out the entire regular season, and he can choose to wait until the 2026 draft, and he would be eligible to re-enter the pool of prospects next year. He could be drafted by any squad in the league other than the Cincinnati Bengals. So there's a couple options there. You can wait and dig in as much as you can and eat up some regular season games, but you have until the Tuesday after week 10 to do it to make your contract official, or you could sit out the whole year and go back into next year's draft, and all these other teams could draft you except for Cincinnati. Those are the rules according to the CBA.
Has everybody signed but him? I'm not talking about the Bengals. I'm talking about...
I know we just got Travis Hunter done this weekend. I'm not sure off the top of my head where everybody else stands as far as the first-round picks go.
Because that would be an interesting part of the story if he is now the centerpiece and the only one. And that would look obviously very Bengal-like if that happened. Most of these rookie holdouts are pretty rare now. It doesn't really happen.
Because it seems fairly easy to figure out.
The weight scale and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really happen that many times. I haven't seen it that much. Okay, so Travis Hunter, he signed?
He's done, yeah.
He's done.
They got that done this weekend.
Barron?
Johnny Barron is not.
He's not.
Where's he at again? Remind me.
Denver.
Okay. They're going to have a nasty secondary with him back there.
I mean, listen, rookies sign closer to training camp. That happens. And some second-round picks look like they're lagging this year.
You know what's unfortunate, though, specifically about this is, yes, it's the Bengals and all the jokes are out there. And look, this is the stuff that they got to deal with when they make a mess like this, is that this specific prospect needs to be, or now needed to be, around the phases of this process for our team, the OTAs, the minicamp. This is a raw prospect with talent. This isn't a guy that is seasoned and put up a whole bunch of productivity at the college level and knows what it takes and just all that. Yes, the traits are there. That's what they're betting on, is that we got a raw, talented guy that we can mold and he will figure it out, but he's still young at the end of the day. And so him not knowing specifically, hey, this is what Al Golden wants from me in this defense. This is what it looks like. These are the options off this play, yada, 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 all those things. Like, you're so behind already. And that's what I think could end up hurting them in this situation.
The biggest difference, from my understanding, between Stewart and the rest of these first-round picks is that he wouldn't sign a practice waiver. Like, if you look at, like, every one of these remaining unsigned guys, they had practiced, and they didn't complete their contracts. I'm not erring on the side of the team here. I do think they're wrong. But the waiver protected them against any injury. He didn't, and he sat out. So he's playing hardball as well. And the issue here, if you're keeping track at home, is that it's the guaranteed money that the Bengals feel like they'd be able to recoup if Stewart somehow defaults on the contract through whatever, if something happened that would, like I said, would be counterintuitive because you wouldn't be rooting for it. So the language the Bengals used for Myles Murphy, their 2023 first-round pick, regarding the clause was different than what they used for Amarius Mims last year. So now, if you really read it correctly, or if I'm reading it correctly, the Bengals are attempting to change it again for Stewart. And this default language they're trying to use is fairly common. Like, they offered Stewart the same language as the pick before, Walter Nolan to Arizona, and after Seattle's pick, according to sources, that the Bengals generally structure guarantees differently than the majority of the rest of the league. That's not surprising to most people. But it is odd. A little bit from both sides, but this dude feels, and his agent feels like they are in the right. And here's the other thing, Matty. They're winning the public battle because of the team they're fighting with.
Yeah.
The Bengals don't have a lot of PR on that side of it. Like, I just named a couple teams that are doing it as well. You don't hear about them.
And you know what's unfortunate, because you're so right, AR, to bring that up, is they won the PR battle just a few months ago.
Yeah.
They really did, because there were a lot of people that were saying, okay, like it should be fairly easy to look at the talent that they have on offense and say, that's what you roll with. You build off of that. You figure everything else out later. But on the other side of that coin was, well, it's still the Bengals. Do you really trust them to go all in and honor what Joe Burrow wants? They did that. And a few months after that, now here we are talking about their first-round pick that's signed, your star defensive player that you still can't figure out a contract with. And we talked about the complications in that, and I get it. I do. I get that because of his age and where their money is already. But this rookie stuff, this should be, close your eyes and figure this thing out. It's a 4-year deal. Get it done. And Shamar Stewart is saying, I don't want to be the test dummy in this.
I haven't seen the actual language, and neither of you. Only the agents know and the team knows.
Every other contract, I believe, it's a 4-year framing. The years is what it is. The money is going to obviously slide because of the scale when these guys get picked. But what they're doing with trying to bake in all these things that are going to protect themselves as a franchise is just head-scratching. It really is just head-scratching. Yeah. And what this is now is a distraction. And I can't stand when teams create their own distractions in-house. Sometimes there's things that are going to happen that you just can't avoid. But when ownership is getting in the way of a team trying to get better and grow and learn, that's where the issues come from, and that's why people are dunking all over the Bengals, and rightfully so, because of this and their history.
I think if you were just trying to really explain it to a third grader, you would have to go to the ownership. You'd have to go to Brown. You'd have to go to the daughters. You'd have to say, explain this. What are you afraid of? Specifically, what are you afraid of? And I don't know, they probably wouldn't speak to the personal guy, Shamar Stewart, just kind of in general, that they'd like to be able to recoup some guarantees if the player does something so unbecoming that defaults the contract or has to be cut or whatever. They want to be able to recoup some stuff. I think that's the...
If you felt that way...
frustrating.
It is.
Then you wouldn't have drafted him.
There you go.
But
if it was injury-related, character-related, and you had pause when it comes to any of that stuff, then you don't draft him.
But we know one thing. Excuse me. These teams are also blinded by talent. They feel like, but they're on the other side. They want it both ways. They want the talent. If the talent doesn't work out, they want to be able to protect themselves. I think this is where we are. We'll come back and we'll hammer a little bit of a Browns player who is predicting the quarterback. Rothman Ice on the Fan.
Whatever you're doing right now, just know that Bo Bishop is enjoying a sip of bourbon. Even if this promo is playing in the morning, no judgment.
Sweet morning drinking.
The Fan.
Hey friends, Beamer here. So did you jump in on Awaken 180's Lose 40 by the 4th challenge? Well, if you did, a huge congratulations to you on hitting a 40-pound goal in less than 2 months. That deserves some serious celebration. Speaking from experience, I dropped double digits my very first week on Awaken 180, and in just over 3 months, all 70 pounds were gone. Total game changer for me, and the results came lightning fast. Now, if you haven't jumped on board yet, there's no worries. There's still plenty of summer left to lose your 30, 40, 70 like I did, or even 100 pounds or more. I'm not saying you're going to drop 40 pounds next week, but if you have the same week one results I had, you'll definitely be on your way. Set your sights in August. Think summer barbecue, golf, the beach. Every bit of it fits into your new Awaken 180 lifestyle. Lose weight, love summer, and thank me later. You can start today at awaken180weightloss.com, the official weight loss program of summer.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
Common Man here. I want to talk to you about my buddy Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. It's rare that a business comes along and offers you such great quality, service, price. If you or someone you love or like, or even strangers on the street tell you they need a jeweler, tell them you got a guy, and that guy is Bob Capace at Worthington Jewelers.
I'm Bob Capace, and I'm your guy.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com, where Columbus gets engaged.
This promo is for anyone who likes baseball or America or Terry Francona's scooter. The Reds are on the Fan. Catch all 162 games here on the Fan and 1460 ESPN Columbus and the Fan's HD2. Your home for Reds baseball, the Fan.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
It'll be another scorcher for us again today, so make sure you're taking care of yourself. Stay hydrated. Plenty of sunscreen. That sun will be out in full force. Afternoon highs in the mid to upper 90s across central Ohio, with our feels like in the low triple digits. For tonight, lows in the mid to upper 70s. And then for Wednesday, we will see temperatures in the mid to low 90s, but that feels like we'll still be right around 100 degrees. So make sure you're staying safe. Chances of showers and storms could start to develop in the afternoon. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The perfect ratio of sports talk, dogs, pro wrestling, and gambling advice.
It's science.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Maddie, sorry for that little cough on the air there. I try to turn to the left and cough. But
listen, you don't have
when you breathe in,
yeah,
it's like the residual effect from that, I don't know, whatever happened after the memorial when I went.
Well, it was the memorial in the Chi-Town shuffle, too.
Yeah,
man. You had a lot going on. You don't have to apologize to that. I mean, I am the guy that has almond attacks live on the air. So I understand when you're rolling like that and something just comes up there and clips you. The way that it happened to you, I've been there, done that. It happens to the best of us, man. Don't worry about it.
Thanks, brother.
You got Emmys to go home to anyway.
I got something for you guys, by the way.
What
I have a gift.
Oh, a gift.
I discovered this yesterday.
A GIF or a gift?
A gift.
Or is it GIF? Because people always, is it GIF?
It's definitely GIF.
It's GIF, okay.
I mean, GIF is peanut butter. That's all I know.
God,
peanut butter.
Last week's Tell the Truth all over again, isn't it?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That, by the way, I took an L there. Should I tell you the story?
Yeah, absolutely. I got time. I'm here till 3.
You know what we could do?
What's her name?
No, this would be bad. No, this would be bad, like to actually replay the whole segment.
Oh, no, that'd be terrible. For me, at least.
So, a week ago?
It was Friday.
It was a while ago.
Are we talking about when?
Wait, was it just last Friday?
Yeah.
Okay, that's weird.
Adam was
like they all blend together. I know.
He goes golfing with celebrities and just loses track of time.
So on Friday, you know how Tell the Truth at the end of the show is more of a decompressing. I just got done with a one-on-one 15 minutes with Will Shields, great Hall of Fame lineman for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And the last thing we like to do is end on a lighter note, right? Just kind of take the show to a nice landing.
Mm-hmm.
And TLC was doing a story, I believe, about a recruit.
Yeah, waffle.
Yeah, waffle. He pronounced it waffle. I'm guessing it's wafel.
It's spelled with one. It looks like waffle, but with one F instead of two.
Noted. Okay.
And I was trying to make a serious point because I was trying to catch Adam King in a bad point, and I thought I had him. And Anthony, you two just derailed me.
And the sad part is I didn't even remember the point you were trying to make, or I would have stepped aside and let you do it. I really would have. But when I heard a guy's last name, as he pronounced it, waffle, it could be like the greatest last name ever if it would be pronounced that way. And I started thinking, if you could change your last name to any breakfast food, what would it be? And all of a sudden, yes, great summer topic. And so we just started coming up with them. And then we'd say, all right, sorry, go ahead, finish your deal. And then he'd bark out another sentence, and I'd go, like, frittata or whatever, like, say something else. And then Adam would say something, and, like, some kind of, I said, morning glory muffin. Like, that would be a great name in general. And we just kept interrupting him and saying, now go ahead. And we were just, it was Friday, dude. What do you want? And I got an email. After the show.
Sure, that was lovely.
Write everybody back. Anybody that's willing to take the time to write me deserves a response. And this woman thought it was incredibly rude and classless that we kept interrupting the young man over there. And I told him on Friday, this past Friday, that's why I'm mixing up the days. So, no, this was a week ago. This was a week and a half ago. Now he's got me messed up.
You know why? It's because Ice was out.
Let's just say that
back-to-back Thursday, Friday.
It's one of the last Fridays. One of the last 2 Fridays.
Yeah, now he's got me all mixed up. It was a week and a half.
This feels like it was Friday.
I'm following your story.
Friday, we were at Gigi's.
Oh. Thursday?
Maybe it was Thursday.
Okay.
I'm following the story, though. Somebody got after you for not allowing TLC to cook.
And he was getting, which he doesn't usually get, visibly frustrated, but I felt he was at this point. And the three of us were going at each other all day, and we felt like we're just giving it back to him.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really intentional. It was just born out of him telling me there was a guy named Waffle, which is a great last name.
Be awesome.
Yeah, I mean.
And your response back to this woman was
what did it say? What? Do you have the message?
What she wrote or what I wrote?
Both. Before I get to something where I read my own emails.
I did write back, but I didn't get a response from my response.
Oh. Did you come off the top rope?
No, I didn't think I did.
Okay.
And I wasn't trying to explain it away. I'm trying to find it.
Remember when, this is my crazy theory.
You would like what I wrote at the end.
This is my crazy theory. I can't remember exactly what was happening, but there was someone that reached out to you, AR, and said that her daughter thought that TLC sounded hot. Is this the same woman that loves his voice so much that she was mad at you for not hearing his voice? Maybe that's who this was.
That's when I was sick, though. So she probably doesn't think I sound hot anymore.
No, but that's because I was the one that said, you sound like somebody right now.
Jack Harlow.
And then I said Jack Harlow, and I think she probably thinks Harlow's hot and must assume that by me saying
by association
must be yes.
Yeah.
Who was that? Is that the same woman? You may just have a fan. This might be your biggest fan, and I'm.
What did this woman say?
I told you, rude and classless. Those were the highlighted words.
Thanks, Mom.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, you guys are going to like this. Tell me if I lapped it on a little too thick at the end.
So this is your response to her?
Yeah, I'm not going to read all of it, but I'll read you the one that I think counts.
Read the most entertaining parts.
This is not really entertaining. You guys tell me whether this is incredibly... You know me.
I do.
Tell me if you think this was genuine or whether you think it's sappy and way over the top. And all right. After I did say that I'm not sure if you listened to the entire show, but if you did, all three of us were having a blast talking like we were brothers all day. Did Adam not say that when he left?
Correct.
And I said, my bet is you couldn't listen to most of it or you would have picked up on that. And I said, talk radio is subjective, as we all know. I said, but the only measuring stick we have is our listeners. And I will certainly take your note to heart. And big picture, I do appreciate you calling your feelings to my attention.
There you go. I think that's very professional of you.
And I did not get a response from that. But I meant it. I'm like, listen, we're not gonna change who we are for one person. How can you do that? Yeah. I'm not gonna have a personality lobotomy at this age. It's not happening.
Because otherwise today we'd be Marconi winners because you got a note on your desk today that our show's great.
Yeah, from another older woman.
Oh, somebody.
I'm big with the middle-aged and old alike, believe me.
We're batting 500.
Okay.
Listen, you know what? We'll take that. I did. It was a handwritten note.
If we're going to live and die with every single comment we read.
Now the question is, do I have to write back handwritten?
See, here, my thing is, if you handwrite a note, that deserves absolutely a response. If it's an email or a tweet and you're talking reckless, I probably won't respond. But if you take time to me to craft something with your own fingertips,
I agree.
I will respond. I want to read this letter.
It's not really a common thing to get a handwritten note anymore. And I've always believed in writing a handwritten thank you is like the most underrated thing you could ever do.
Yeah.
Not many people do it anymore. Kind of depends on how you were raised.
It's true.
I think.
I used to hate that back in the day, having to write thank you cards that people came to my birthday parties and stuff.
Well, they brought you a gift.
But I'm like, my friends don't care about this. Now, I think when you're older, you get more sentimental about that stuff. But when you're like 8 years old, it's not even for you. It's for the kid's parents.
That's true. That's good.
Which I'm like, they barely came to my party. They just dropped their kid off and then returned to pick them up.
See you at 8.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but did you write back relatives that gave you a gift? Because I always did. If a grandmother sent you like $50 on a check, like you have to.
That's different because you can't say thank you to their face.
See,
if you say
out-of-towners.
If you say thank you to somebody's face right after they hand you a gift, I don't feel like you have to reply and thank them again.
Yeah, but they might want a reaction to the gift.
Also, if it's a forced thank you, there's not that much meaning behind it anyway.
Outside of the bloodline, I'm not handwriting a note. Like if, let's say, a cousin hits me up with a gift, that's a text for people in the bloodline for me. Associates, friends outside of the fam, I will take time to do that.
I think at a certain age, you probably graduate from the handwritten note to a relative because you can now act as an adult and call.
FaceTime. You got options.
But if you're like back in the day, like if you're like for me, it was you wrote a thank you.
No doubt. Are they still teaching the kids how to do cursive in school?
No, I don't think
that's
so.
Is that cooked at this point? Cursive is not a thing?
No.
Before we get to Tyvis, I want to read an email that I got real quick. And this is from actually like a week or two ago. I just never saw it until yesterday. Hi, Cole. Thank you so much for getting in touch. Oz would love to perform at your upcoming event. That isn't actually real. His fees start at $150,000 and range upwards depending on the performance format, length, and amount of customization involved. I'd be happy to set up a call to discuss the details if interested.
All right.
I'm not going to do that.
First of all,
150 bands.
First of all, that would have been a great guessing game.
Ah, shoot. My bad.
Of what he would charge. Now, think about that for a minute.
That is ridiculous.
I think if we had $150K. Now, I don't think we could get a headline musician to perform at a private event. Plus, you're probably paying expenses. Think about what this guy does and how often, and you could get the details on what he would perform, how many people he would do this for. Think if you had an elite party and you had a lot of money, and instead of hiring a musician or Anthony Rothman, the magician, you would think about if you could get this guy to come to an elite party and read the minds of your guests.
Yeah,
how big of a deal that would be. He's the foremost authority on reading people's minds, and you had him at your party.
You talk about stealing money. That's what he's doing.
Listen,
$150,000 for that
what
gimmick?
Would you have guessed? If I didn't spoil it, and that's a bad job on me because you're right, that would have been a great guessing game.
I would have said 10 grand. 20 grand.
I would have said 50.
He ain't even worth that to me. Got the answers to the test.
Yeah, 150 for us to not even believe him anyway.
Correct. First team all ski mask.
Maddie, this is the way to really find out who's in or who's not in on it.
Empty the bank account.
I'm just saying. Everything has a price. By the way, we didn't play this for him. I asked Schefter about it the day you were out.
Oh, yeah, when TLC texted me that I was ducking Schefter. He thought I was ducking Schefter.
I put Schefter on the record. Let me know when you want to hear that.
I wanted it at 2 o'clock.
Okay. You'll get that.
Can we do that?
Bumping my segment, okay.
Here's the other thing. Tyvus Powell will come on with us in 2 minutes.
He's going to kill us.
We're already late.
Yeah, we're already late.
Yeah. When he comes on in 2 minutes, it's not about who predicted the quarterback and all that. I'm wondering if this guy kind of spoke out of school. It seems a little early to be naming a guy. And especially if you're a player the guessing game is on. We'll ask him next. Rothman Ice and the Fan.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Level up your summer projects with 4th of July savings on top brand cordless power tools from the Home Depot. Whether you're working on a fence, a planter box, or a new workbench, get the power and runtime you need with the Ryobi One Plus 18-volt 2 toolkit from the Home Depot for only $99, was $139. Get 4th of July savings on the cordless power you need to make summer projects easier than ever. Right now at the Home Depot.
This is This Date in Reds Baseball with team historian Greg Rhodes.
The Reds pioneered night baseball in the major leagues in 1935, but it took another 55 years before they would play their first night game on a Sunday evening. And it happened on this June 24th in 1990, the first regularly scheduled Sunday night game for the Reds, an ESPN national telecast. The Reds won 10-6, beating the Dodgers at Riverfront in a game that featured a memorable collision between Reds pitcher Norm Charlton and Dodgers catcher Mike Scioscia. Charlton, trying to score from first base on a double, ran through a stop sign by his third base coach and was safe at home as he crashed into Scioscia. A memorable first Sunday night game on this June 24th, this date in Reds baseball.
This Date in Reds Baseball is brought to you by the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, presented by Dinsmore. Celebrating greatness, preserving history, providing inspiration.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Truth of the matter is, you're listening to Rothman and Ice on 97.1 The Fan.
All right, right on time for our guy, Tyvus Powell. T-Bone Tyvus in the morning. He's with us now.
It's a tradition like no other.
On the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. How you feeling, my man?
First of all, this is sad. You tell me to be ready at 1:30, and I'm sitting here just eager. I'm waiting. It's 1:28. I know the segment's finna end. See, the difference is I work there, so I know the time. And the fact that we are 3 minutes behind is a shame on y'all part. Y'all better tell me whatever the segment was before me was so passionate that you just couldn't get out of it.
I'll tell you. So, are you familiar with this O's the Mentalist that goes to the teams and does all the reading of the minds?
No.
No? What planet have you been on in the last couple years? You had to be on some desert island to not know O's the Mentalist.
No, it's this crazy world called Tyvus Land. That's where I'm at.
Do you believe there are people out there that have a gift that they can know things that no normal human could know?
No, because when you're around people like that, you need to check your wallet. Make sure you got your wallet on you.
Maddie doesn't believe it either.
No, I don't want any of that energy around me, Tyvis. None of that. Keep those spirits, all that dark stuff away from me.
I agree.
I'm shocked you have not seen any of this man's performance.
What you say his name? I'm gonna look it up when we get done. What's his name?
Oz the Mentalist. O-Z. Pronounced Oz, not Oz. He didn't want to steal from the Wizard of Oz, apparently. And and he's done. I'll direct tweet you some. No, seriously. I will. I'll send you a couple, and then, at your convenience, you can check them out. You'll like. That's what we're talking about. So, Deontay Johnson came out with his prediction of the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Am I right, Maddie?
Yes, he did. And T, the quote is, I think they're going to roll with Kenny for right now. Your reaction to that?
First of all, I had a bunch of reactions to that when I seen this. One, he ain't been there to be able to tell anybody who's going to go with nobody, okay? He's been there for 3 days of minicamp, so his opinion is irrelevant. Two, he played with Kenny Pickett, so that's why he wants Kenny Pickett. So, to me, it doesn't hold a lot of weight. It doesn't. Now, it's been multiple reports that the coaching staff has been high on Kenny Pickett, but the thing about it from a fan's perspective, from the outside looking in, we see no Kenny Pickett highlights. We've seen Joe Flacco's great throws on Twitter or X. We've seen Shador. We've seen Dylan. We've never, ever seen Kenny Pickett. So if that's the case, how can you tell me, how can you march him out there and tell me he's the best quarterback if I haven't even seen any highlights from him? Just saying.
Yeah, no, you brought up a great point when you mentioned his connection to Kenny Pickett with their time in Pittsburgh. That makes a lot of sense there. T, I want to talk about this running back room, though, because now we officially know Nick Chubb, that isn't happening. He's down there in Houston with Joe Mixon. But with the 2 rookies and Ford up there in the mix, which running back do you believe / should lead the team in carries this year?
It should be Quinshon Judkins. I mean, you literally went and got a guy who was similar to Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. This is a guy that can take all of those carries. Now, he's on record saying he loves splitting carries with Travion, but when you take somebody that high in the draft, you're looking at him to be your bell cow back. And I think that he will lead the team in rushing. I mean, he's a physical guy. He fits the mold of what a Cleveland running back should be, a guy that gets straight downhill, that's got some speed to him, but that will drop that shoulder and pick up those tough extra yards after contact. So it should be him. It probably will be him.
You were okay with saying thank you and farewell to Nick Chubb, correct?
No. I understand why they would. I was good either way. I was indifferent about it. I understand both sides from a business aspect, and that's just how you have to operate when you're talking about the NFL. It's all business. The personal feelings have to go to the side. Personally, Nick Chubb is arguably one of the greatest Cleveland Browns to ever put the uniform on. He was exactly what you wanted in your locker room. He was exactly what you want out of a football player. He did everything the right way. But business-wise, this guy's coming off of a serious knee injury. Then on top of that, he just broke his foot last year. And they felt that he wasn't going to get back to being the guy that he would be. And they felt that if you kept him around, it would stunt the growth of the younger guys. And I totally understand that, and I agree with it. Now, what he can do is go out there and prove them wrong and say those injuries mean nothing. He can still be that guy, and I hope he does. I really do, because that would be nice for CJ to have that type of guy in the backfield.
Where does Harold Fannin Jr. fit into the mix this year? He led the nation in receiving yards coming out of Bowling Green. We know Njoku was the leader in that tight end room, but looking at Fannin Jr., his skill set within this offense, what are your thoughts on how he can make an impact?
Yeah, I think that since they're going back to old Kevin Stefanski's ball, I think that he wants to run a ton of 12 personnel. And David Njoku, as athletic as he is, he gets hurt from time to time. So now that if he does decide to get hurt, Now you got another guy that can still go out there and still be a mismatch. But I also think that due to the fact that the skill positions, talking about the receivers, with them being such a question mark, I think we're going to spend a lot of time at 12 personnel, which is smart. Because if you go 12 personnel, now you're forcing their nickel off the field, and now you're putting a linebacker on the field. Oh, by the way, that linebacker has to worry about checking David Njoku and Harold Fanning, who they're probably more athletic than, and it just creates a mismatch because they got the size over DBs. So I think that that's just kind of how they want to utilize those two this year. So I think it's a smart play for the Browns to draft him when they did and to utilize him in that 12 personnel, because now you're predicting the terms that a defense does. A defense can't make you do something. You're making them come out in something that arguably nobody does anymore. Nobody runs base defense anymore. Everybody runs base is their nickel. Now you're making them play three linebackers. I think it's a smart play.
I don't think I've ever asked you this, Tyvis. Around the time of the Super Bowl when Myles Garrett dropped that bomb that he wanted to be traded and unhappy with the direction and made up that letter and all that, wanted to go to a playoff contender, wants a chance at a Super Bowl ring, doesn't want to go from Cleveland to Canton. Give me your best take on how the direction changed so much in his mind, other than the obvious, which was the money. Is there anything that he thought was going to happen that did or didn't?
Yeah, I believe that him requesting a trade would mean teams are going to pick up the phone and throw their best offer to the Cleveland Browns. But what he didn't realize is the Browns they are already significantly in a hole for the cap space. And even if you trade him, you still are accounting for his cap. And the Browns just wasn't going to budge off of that. If they were going to trade him, it would be post-June 1, after the draft. So if that's the case, teams that already went to the draft and filled that void. They've already drafted edge rushers or free agency that started. They done already signed there. So now you're left with teams that either didn't get their guy in the draft or has the cap space to take on that contract that you're going to be getting because you had to have paid them at the time. So now you're talking about the Carolina Panthers and all that, and that just puts you at a worse situation than what you're already at. So you might as well just go ahead and go for what you know and stay with the Browns, because at least you've had success here. At least you've been a number one defense before. You know, so I think that is things that he thought about. He realized that I can't go to the Commanders, I can't go to the Eagles or the Chiefs because they're not going to trade me before the draft or free agency. So those guys are going to make their plays, and I'm going to be left with the scraps. And he didn't want to deal with the scraps.
Gotcha. Hey, charge Maddie for those 3 minutes we stole from your life today. Put it on Maddie's tab.
No, because I agree with Maddie on this one. So he's all right in my book.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, my man.
All
Good
right,
to have you as always. Be well.
See y'all. Go Bucks, go Browns, go Cavs, and go Guards.
We'll try to be on time next time for you. It's tough.
I won't hold my breath.
Okay. Just stay by the phone. It might ring.
Oh, all right. See you, T.
There goes Tyvis on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. All right, guys. Summer's here. Time for the gatherings, time with friends, family, activities, holidays. How you going to keep up? If your testosterone is low and the levels are low, it drains your energy. And at Low T Center, they're going to give you all the power to find out if this is the reason. And it's a very, very reputable place. They've been around for more than a decade. And, you know, I talked about this before Father's Day and maybe helping dad and yourself and all that. And if you haven't done it, you still want to do it, go to fixmylowt.com. The site is fixmylowt.com and get in there, get the test, find out where you land on the scale, and see if this is the answer that you've been looking for. Treatment will be personalized to you. Most major insurance would be accepted. They'll verify that for you. It's about control. It's about feeling better. It's about not wasting any more time. FixMyLowT.com. That's FixMyLowT.com at Low T Center. All right, we will come back with a Buckeye Bulletin. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Hey, friends, Beamer here. So did you jump in on Awaken 180's Lose 40 by the 4th challenge? Well, if you did, well, a huge congratulations to you on hitting a 40-pound goal in less than 2 months. That deserves some serious celebration. Speaking from experience, I dropped double digits my very first week on Awaken 180, and in just over 3 months, all 70 pounds were gone. Total game changer for me, and the results came lightning fast. Now, if you haven't jumped on board yet, there's no worries. There's still plenty of summer left to lose your 30, 40, 70 like I did, or even 100 pounds or more. I'm not saying you're going to drop 40 pounds next week, but if you have the same week one results I had, you'll definitely be on your way. Set your sights in August. Think summer barbecue, golf, the beach. Every bit of it fits into your new Awaken 180 lifestyle. Lose weight, love summer, and thank me later. You can start today at awaken180weightloss.com, the official weight loss program of summer.
Hey, Tinsley, why don't we use EasyCater to order food for staff lunches?
Because my 46-page acronym system is so easy. I just have to salad, stay alert to late arriving deliveries, pie, put in expenses, and Google Pie. Go out and get everyone's preferences and allergy information.
That's supposed to be simple?
No, simple is Steve and Irma and Margie prefer lasagna and empanadas.
OMG.
No need to make work life more complicated. Just use EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
This just in from the Lindsay Honda Newsroom. It's our big anniversary sale. 0% for up to 60 months has been extended on all new Hondas. Try the new 2025 CR-V LX all-wheel drive with 0% financing.
Lower your rate, lower your payment.
Save thousands on hundreds of new Hondas when you buy now.
With so many Hondas, why would you go anywhere else?
Shop the big, the beautiful Lindsay Honda now. Visit lindsayhonda.com for details.
Factory direct is really pretty simple. The factory sells it directly to the consumer. I mean, we build it. There's nothing that anybody else does. We have stations where everybody touches the window. Everyone sees what's going on. So if there's an issue, we catch it as it's going down the line. That's probably the biggest thing, is the ability to make sure what goes out the door is what I want to go out the door.
Visit Rosati Windows by the end of this month and get 35% off all windows and doors.
If you miss a little, you'll miss a lot. Search for your favorite fan shows wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Every episode comes right to your phone absolutely free. Modern technology, it's a hell of a thing. Do it now. The Fan.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Terry's Tiny Homes, Terry! Sure, as the only employee of her company, Terry was probably the front runner, but saving money getting personalized discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive, well, that gave Terry the edge. Over Terry.
Terry! Terry!
Keep awkwardly chanting your own name, Terry. You deserve it. Woo! Be your own Terry. See if you could save in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric, and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day air installation.
All right, Buckeye Bulletin time. Where are we going with this college football playoff? And when they get to 16 teams, and they will, that whatever proposal, and you know where I'm going with this, I bracket that thing up, seed them as you rank them, play it off, one and done. I know that's not going to happen. There'll be buys, double buys, all that stuff, man. I would love to just see a straight bracket, right? But I know what's happening because round 1 would be 16 versus 13 and 15 versus 14. Pick off the lower. Let them pick off each other because what they're afraid of, and this would be my total gut, is that you can't have although the schools are, by name alone, this isn't the NCAA tournament. You're going to have like some Coppin State beating off Alabama or Ohio State. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in football, could you see South Carolina taking out a big boy? Could you see a 16 beat a 1 in college football? This year, we weren't even close to that, right? Except for, which game was it? The game that got close.
The game that...
Arizona State, Texas.
Yes. That game got close at the end.
Oh, that's Cam Scatterville, right?
That's right.
He's with the Giants now. Dude was just a beast.
That was Steve Sarkisian having the moment with the kicker right before he missed it.
Yeah.
So fast forward in your mind. You guys give me your opinion on this. What that would do for college football if they did it my way, which is you bracket that thing up and you play it off, best versus worst, and you move on. You'd have upsets.
How many teams?
16.
Which I think that's where we're headed. I do think this will be a 16-team field.
No buys. You're going to get buys. You're going to get double buys. I'm telling you, I'm not saying that this would happen. I'm just saying, imagine if it was that way.
AR, I've come to the conclusion with this that I don't even know what I want personally.
They have to protect the big boys a little bit.
Well, and then you've got agendas. Everybody got their own agenda in this, especially the Big Ten and the SEC. Is it the 5+11 model? Is it the 4-4-2-2, whatever that model is? Like, I don't know what's going to be good for the sport. I don't. I'm just hoping that it doesn't have a gimmicky feel when we get to whatever format we get to. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to be sitting there watching the games and enjoying whatever we're going to get.
I don't think it would be gimmicky. I'm
just saying I hope it doesn't have that feel.
I think it'll be gimmicky if you do the 4-4-2-2-2-1 where, blah, 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 whatever, elemental P. I think if you start preserving in advance, this conference gets these amount of teams, this conference gets this amount of teams, I think that does feel gimmicky because year over year, just prove it. If you think that you have 4 of the top 10 teams and then maybe another at large, just let it play. What's the point? And I don't even know how necessarily, well, I guess, the Big Ten and the SEC are the big money makers. So I guess that's the answer is just money. But
they're the ones that are in favor of the double bye for the 1 and 2 seeds.
That's a really dangerous game if you do a double bye. Now, I like it because that would remind me of the old school Big East Conference tournament, which I have fond memories of as a kid. However, I do not think that that's actually beneficial for anybody. I think sitting around and waiting is not at all conducive. And I don't think it's a hot take, so I'm not trying to present it as one. But a double bye would be terrible for whoever got that. You know what I would love, actually? I would love it, and you can televise this. Call up FaceTime the coaches. If you have a bye, offer them the opportunity one by one. Whoever the number 1 team is, put that coach on camera. Hey, do you elect for your team to have a bye or do you want to play in the first round?
Yeah.
Make them decide.
I think most of them would always take the bye. You'd never risk injury or risk loss. I understand what you're saying, and certainly the teams that were very good this year that waited lost momentum or lost their edge, and then the team that won, that got to meet them, had already hit the ground running. They had confidence built. They had momentum, and I'm speaking right from Ohio State's standpoint. So if this goes to where the 16 seed against the 13 and the 15 against the 14, and then those winners of those games would move on to the second round where then they would play the 4 seed on its home field, and the 16-13 winner would play the 3 seed. That does sound probably the way they're going to go. But when we had Tress on at Gigi's outing on Friday, I kind of asked him, what would be his dream scenario.
I would like 1 less regular season game and 16 teams in the playoffs, because I think there was a little bit of a momentum breaker for those people that ended up with the bye. And it's a little different than the NFL, because the NFL's got grown men who have been playing 17 games and they're older and so forth. There's something about young people staying on a groove, and that was a little bit of an advantage for us this year, that we didn't have time to mess around and so forth. When the playoffs started, we had to go through
3 weeks, I think.
We had to go through that period of grieving and being not happy about the way the regular season ended. But that fueled great practices and great conversations.
Would you dump the conference championship game?
Probably.
Yes, because there's what he meant by that probably is that then they would hold play-in games during conference championship weekend every year to determine the other auto bid. Bids.
Yeah, right. The only thing, me personally, I'm just speaking for me right now, the only thing that I really want to see changed is the seed them as you rank them.
Oh, that Matty,
I'm not even
100%. That was my biggest beef when it happened. And I really didn't even have a beef because it really didn't affect as much.
I'm 100% with you on that. I'm not thirsty to get to 14 or 16 right now. Like, I actually like the feel of 12. It was just the seeding aspect of it that bothered me. I know why this is going to 14 or 16. They'll never admit why they're going to do it. The parties involved, that being the TV networks and the universities and all that stuff, because there's so much money.
They can't admit it now,
I
though.
just don't think you're right. They could, but they won't.
The whole thing's about money.
They won't admit it. To your point, you follow their actions and the things.
Sport now,
100%.
No one needs to play games anymore.
No, you're right. But we know they're not going to come out and say those. They're not going to come out and say those things. But I don't really think we need to get to 14 or 16. You know my thing. If we go to this,
you don't want a 3-loss.
I don't.
There.
And if we go to this 5+11 model that Greg Sankey and the SEC are pushing, you're going to see a bunch of 3-loss teams from that conference get into this thing. And I don't think they're going to be worthy, and they're going to be telling us, well, this conference is just head and shoulders better outside of the Big Ten than everybody else, that we deserve to get all these teams in because we're just the big, mighty SEC. And I don't rock with that.
Yeah, see, this is turning more towards pro than ever before.
Yeah.
With guys getting massive money and all that, and all being for the money. So I'm off the if you have 3 losses, you don't belong. I don't care anymore. If you're one of the If you've played a strong schedule and you have enough good wins and you've lost some competitive games, then I want to judge it as on a case-by-case basis. And we've seen from the NFL standpoint, teams are getting in at, with big-time losses and barely being over 500. So we'll see where it goes. But that was an interesting take by Tress. We come back top of the hour, and we'll get into, Maddie, the response you've been waiting for a lot of your life. It's coming next. Rothman Ice on the Fan.
We test marketed naming the show A Guy and His Butlers.
Oh, that is very touching.
But we thought Bishop and Friends had a better ring to it.
Weekday mornings at 9.
The Fan.
Hey, Tinsley, why don't we use EasyCater to order food for staff lunches?
Because my 46-page acronym system is so easy. I just have to salad, stay alert to late arriving deliveries, pie, put in expenses, and Google Pie. Go out and get everyone's preferences and allergy information.
That's supposed to be simple?
No, simple is Stephen, Irma, and Margie prefer lasagna and empanadas.
OMG.
No need to make work life more complicated. Just use EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is?
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and, of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
Summer is finally here. That means long days, warm nights, barbecues, sporting events, and that vacation you've been planning for months. The last thing you want to deal with is a leaking roof or unexpected damage to your home. At Newman Roofing, we understand that life gets busy and your time is important. And that's why we've designed our entire process around you. Whether it's your roof, siding, or gutters, we believe in doing things the right way, not the rushed way. No high-pressure sales, no pushy pitches, just honest conversations from professionals who respect your time and your home. When you call Newman Roofing, here's what you can expect. First, we'll take time to diagnose the issue, not just slap on a quick fix. Then we'll present clear, quality solutions and answer your questions so you can make the best decision for your family and your budget. And right now, we're offering special financing options so you can protect your home without putting your summer plans on hold. So go ahead, fire up the grill, pack your bags, or hit the ball field. Let Newman Roofing take care of the rest. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Matty Ice here from McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. Are you looking for an affordable family car? Then the Chevy Traverse is for you. This month at McDaniel GM Superstore, you can get up to $3,000 off MSRP on a 2025 Traverse. Plus, qualified buyers can finance at 6.8% for 72 months. They are just a short drive north of Route 23 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. McDaniel GM Superstore, where great deals meet a century of trust. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
When was the last time you had your plumbing inspected? Small issues such as tiny leaks or old water heaters can quickly turn into big problems if they're not caught early. Take action with Logan Services and schedule a free plumbing safety inspection to help keep your home running smoothly. Schedule your free inspection now and experience the fast, friendly service you've come to expect from Logan Services.
Hey, Joe Fortenbaugh here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with the promo code JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. The Cincinnati Reds continuing their series with the New York Yankees at Great American Ballpark tonight. It's the Major League Baseball debut of pitcher Chase Burns, who was the number 2 overall pick in last year's draft. He'll start against Carlos Rodon. Coverage over on ESPN Columbus gets underway at 6:40. First pitch is at 7:10. The Cleveland Guardians return to Progressive Field to start a series with the Toronto Blue Jays at 6:40. Logan Allen versus Eric Lauer, the pitching matchup. The Columbus Blue Jackets have released their 7-game preseason schedule for the upcoming season. It begins with 4 games on 4 straight days, September 21st through the 24th. Home games with St. Louis, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, and Washington. Road games against Buffalo, Pittsburgh, and Washington. This one's sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Mark Levy's office at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit him online, sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and Ice feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, back at it. Final hour of the program. A little Rothman and Ice programming note coming your way for this Friday.
No doubt, 97.1 The Fan is asking Central Ohioans to step up and help their neighbors Stay cool this summer with the Beat the Heat fan drive in partnership with 10 TV and Life Care Alliance. Many of Life Care's clients cannot afford air conditioning, and they have medical conditions that are exacerbated by extremely warm temperatures. Join us for a live broadcast of Rothman and Ice on Friday, June 27th at the fire station in Westerville at 400 West Main Street as we kick off the 2025 Beat the Heat fan drive. Bring a new box fan and help someone in need. The first 100 people who drop off a fan will receive a pair of tickets to the Cardale Jones softball game at Huntington Park on July 19th. Looking forward to seeing you guys on Friday. For more information, visit 971thefan.com. Again, that is 971thefan.com.
Extremely good idea, and help out your Central Ohio neighbors, human beings, pets. The heat is unbearable.
Yeah.
And we're going to do our part in supporting that. So it'll be a fun show.
Yeah, the streets are saying we're going to do the show in turtlenecs in the heat. Are we signing up for that? You signing up for that?
Maybe a mock turtle, maybe. A Tiger Woods mock turtle. I don't know about the full deal. But I might want to, be on the back of that truck, just kind of steering that thing.
Absolutely.
We did see this. This is, I don't know if this is, anytime Rodgers says anything remotely close to his future, people pick up on it. What are you making of, I'm pretty sure this will be my last season?
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so.
Really?
Yeah, kind of over it. Like, I'm interested in seeing him play in Pittsburgh, but the whole emotion, I don't have an emotional pull anymore with whether or not he's going to retire or play after this. I don't care. I don't. It'll be fun to see him because
of his
but no,
it's
not
off the chart talent, or are you fatigued from him?
It's the fatigue, I think, for me when it comes to him. Like, we've been doing a lot of Rodgers stuff since 2020 with the whole back end of the Packer stuff and how that ended, and the Jet stuff, and now this, and just the waffling back and forth. I was 90% retired, then I came out of it. Like, I'm just over it. Like, it'll be fun to see him play and talk about that, but his future for me right now, I couldn't care less.
Yeah, I'm looking at it probably in a similar view, but maybe not as strong. I'm into him writing his own ending, whatever that is for him. He's played a lot of years. He's a future Hall of Famer. He did one deal. He didn't go for big money. 1 year is less than $15 million. And maybe he's not worth any more than that, and that's fine. Maybe he's getting paid what he is worth as an NFL starting quarterback at this point in his life. But I'm kind of looking at this as he gets a chance to go out whatever way he can go out, hopefully not injured. I don't have any real ill will towards him, and everyone knows he'll be known as a Packer forever. We know that. Where he won a Super Bowl, his only Super Bowl. So,
and a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's all of that. He's Aaron freaking Rodgers. I'm in on all of that big picture stuff when he's officially done. But I'm not going to be week in and week out, and when we get into the season, like, is this it? I'm going to enjoy the games, especially when we get to that week 1 game against the Jets and that game against Green Bay and those other teams in the NFC North. Like, that's going to be fun to see. But what he says about his future for me, it doesn't hold any weight anymore.
I'm kind of with you. I think it's. He's outlived his athletic ability to this point, pretty much. We'll see. I still think he has some great throws left in him and possibly some great games. We talked about, I remember when we played that schedule game, and I said to you, boy, there's one game that no one's talking about right now, and it's a little bit of the legendary game. If it was at Lambeau, it would be better.
I agree.
But the fact that Green Bay's coming to Pittsburgh.
Still a strong venue, but your point is well taken. It would have been a lot better. But, Sunday night football.
He's got some cool games this year. He's got some, we'll see. If he stays upright, and we'll see, there may not even be how competitive they're going to be. Who knows? But they get Green Bay at home. You'll have all the AFC North matchups to look forward to.
And even that Minnesota game week 4 across the pond is interesting to me, AR, because we'll never know. But I would love to ask him if Kevin O'Connell and the Vikings came really strong with an offer, and they were still like, okay, we're really not ready to go all in with J.J. McCarthy.
He would have been a Viking.
I think so.
He would have been.
And I would have just loved to hear his answer to that. If they would have came strong with a deal, so we want you to be our guy for 2025, would he would pick Minnesota or would he have picked Pittsburgh?
100% he's picking the Vikes.
Get back at Green Bay? Little revenge in there?
Not necessarily back at Green Bay. I just think the indoor venue, the receivers that he would have, the weapons he would have.
The coach, too.
The coach, for sure.
Coach,
and maybe I shouldn't say 100% because he really does like Tomlin a lot. And there was always that little nod and wink that they had together. Like you've always
And I think there's respect there, which wasn't there with Saleh. To me, it didn't feel that way.
The beautiful part about talking about this and predicting it is basically that the money really wasn't a factor. That he probably would have chosen situation. Now, if you would have told me the Steelers massively overpaid for him, then I wouldn't be able to sit here and say he definitely would have been a Viking. But now knowing what he's playing for, if he had a choice to go to the Vikes, I think he would have done it. And I've told you a million times, I would have been here for it. If McCarthy had to sit another year, if Rodgers was a Vike right now, I'd be somewhat okay. I would.
For the longest, AR, you've always respected the heck out of his game and said, if there's one quarterback, I need one drive. I'll take his arm talent. I'll take what he's got right from the neck up. This was the guy that you picked. And I get it because like you go back and watch Aaron Rodgers when he was at his peak, at the peak of his powers, and it was special. It really was special. So, no, I love what you brought up about the schedule because not only is it the NFC North reunion tour that we'll get, if you will, from him, but it's a game against Buffalo at home. It's the 2 games or the 4 games that we'll see him play against Lamar and Joe Burrow this year. Like, there's some headliner stuff there for sure with him.
He's going to pull off one of these.
What do you mean?
He's going to pull off a game he shouldn't.
That's why they brought him there. And I truly believe that when you have a guy like Aaron Rodgers and you pair what he is at this point, and I think you've laid it out well, the arm talent's still respectable. He's going to have a game or two where it looks like the old Aaron Rodgers. How consistent that will be, we shall see. But the reason why, to me, one of the reasons why you bring him in is, like, our defense hangs tight in games against Josh Allen and Jared Goff and the Lions are on this schedule. Lamar, Joey B. This is a guy we think can close the gap and put us over the hump in those games because of his physical skill set, because of his mind. And they really haven't had that at a high level over the last few years. So that's what you're hoping for. The motivation's going to be there because he's not going to want to go out on a whimper. So he's going to want to be as sharp as he possibly can be every single week. But I just think around Aaron Rodgers right now, do they have the juice outside of DK and Warren and what Caleb Johnson could possibly bring in that running back room? That's still a question mark for me because when you have a guy that is talented the way Rodgers still is, but he may not be able to do it every week, do you have the supporting cast around him to put them over the top? It's similar to the way I'm looking at the Houston Rockets now with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's still a good player, but the core that they have around KD could make him even better at this point. Hopefully that'll be the case for Pittsburgh, but I just don't know if it's there.
Got to rely on that running game, pick his spots, hopefully be mobile enough, and probably pull off one moment that he can make peace with his career on. And that's it.
And that's the
Green Bay. Go out on
game.
that.
And
I don't. Well, that's a Sunday night game. That's the game. It's at home. And if he doesn't win, he doesn't win it. Green Bay's a good team.
But that's the one he wants. That's the one.
Does he? Yes, I guess if you made him pick one game this year to win
and play well in, I think that would be.
I don't know, man. Out dueling Josh Allen at home on a Sunday afternoon in Pittsburgh. I would actually choose that one.
I just think the emotional aspect of the Green Bay game just hits different than any other game. I get what you're saying. Out dueling the MVP, I hear that, but I just think you get Green Bay at this point. You go out and clip Green Bay in your last year and you play well in that game. That's the one I would want if I was
funny. I look at it a little differently. I think if he plays well against Green Bay and loses, that's okay. I think if he can beat Josh Allen, a team that's a Super Bowl contender in the AFC.
So you think of all the games he would want to get, it's the Bills.
I think at home or Lamar, like I think one of those games where he is judging himself against the best individually.
Yeah.
I'm not, because I think he's got, because that, by the way, a lot of this whole writing my own ending, I think if he was really being honest, he might even choose, if you said you could win a playoff game and then get bounced, or have the ultimate individual season win
some. Take the individual.
I think he might take the.
I think he would.
I just want to write it my way.
Yeah,
and
you guys forgot about me, or you thought I didn't have.
And
this.
I think he needs that moment, not the Green Bay moment.
Oh no, I see.
I don't think he needs the team moment.
No,
I think he needs the individual moment to remind himself one time.
With how messy that got, sticking it to them one more time, to me, is the game. But but that's the fun part of the schedule. There's a lot of measuring stick games for him up and down this deal.
I think he's just got that. Remind everyone that I'm as good as I once was one time.
Well, here's the thing.
And that would be the game. If you're judging yourself against potentially, and by the way, an MVP.
He will
a Lamar,
have
a Josh.
He will have the first opportunity for that will be Thursday night, October 16th in Cincinnati. Prime time. I know it's a short week. That sucks for both teams, but that'll be one of those games.
We come back. Do you want to play the...
Does he have it? You got it cooked up?
Did you find it? The O's? Or do we have enough time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe. The time's going to be the tough.
We may have
you know what? We may have just enough time.
Okay.
We can split it. We can do the first half bet 365, the second half Shefty.
You'll hear it next. Rothman Ice on the Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Let's be honest, we could all use a little vacation from the ordinary. But with Tim Hortons' new refreshers, you don't need to pack your bags. Just sip, relax, and enjoy your refreshing 16-ounce vacation. With tropical mango packed with real pineapple and mango pieces. And strawberry watermelon kiwi featuring real pieces of strawberry and kiwi. Also, try it with lemonade or coconut milk. A choose-your-own taste bud adventure. Head to Tim's for the new refreshers. Your 16-ounce vacation awaits. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to sponsor the Fan and 10 TV's Beat the Heat Fan Drive, benefiting Life Care Alliance. You can help Ohio's most vulnerable residents deal with the extreme heat this summer. How can you help? Purchase new box fans and bring them to the nearest Franklin County Fire Station, or you can buy online and ship fans directly to Life Care Alliance. The collection and distribution of fans is to assist residents who are at risk of heat stroke or heat exhaustion. For more information, go to lifecarealliance.org.
Dr. Marta Lavelle of Urbana and Darby Dental Smiles on having First Bank of Central Ohio as a partner.
It has been great working with First Bank of Central Ohio. They helped me achieve a huge goal, becoming a business owner. The bank made it so easy. They helped me through the whole process. It's been great ever since.
Experience what it's like to be first at First Bank of Central Ohio. Visit fbcentralohio.com for more details. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
It's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place. Leslie, what's that hot lamp against your window for?
Pella windows are tested up to 160 degrees Wilson to ensure efficiency and the lowest energy bills possible, even in the craziest of temperatures. Put your hand on there.
All right. God, that's hot.
On the window, Wilson.
Oh, hey, that is quite nice and cool. So I'm going to go grab some ice now.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rated #1 for innovation at PellaColumbus.com.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. These issues can be complicated. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
10 West Broad, Columbus. CordellCordell.com.
When you join the plus side with AAA, that's all you'll have to do. Or you could learn to change your own tire.
Hey fam, what's up? Today I'm going to teach you to change a flat. Before we start, make sure it's not raining. Or hailing. Or lightning.
Skip the hard work. On the plus side, get more with AAA. Go to AAA.com/plus side.
Can't get enough of your favorite fan content? Good news, we're on all the digitals. Follow 971 The Fan on X, Facebook, YouTube, The Talk, and Gram. Your digital home for endless shenanigans. The Fan.
Does heel pain make you hobble just getting out of bed in the morning? If heel pain is affecting your ability to exercise and meet your walking or running goals, relief is as close as your local podiatrist. Podiatric physicians are highly trained doctors who specialize in medical and surgical treatment of the foot and ankle. Ohio Foot and Ankle podiatric physicians are available across the state and are devoted to providing the highest quality foot and ankle care. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Summer is in full swing. If you think you're hot, well, so are your trees. You can help your trees by watering them, especially if they're newly planted. During the hot, dry summer months, your trees could use a water boost. Watering new trees a few times a week will help them survive while they're developing their root system, so don't forget about them. To find out more about watering trees or to find a certified arborist near you, go to treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
It'll be another scorcher for us again today, so make sure you're taking care of yourself. Stay hydrated. Plenty of sunscreen. That sun will be out in full force. Afternoon highs in the mid to upper 90s across central Ohio with our feels like in the low triple digits. For tonight, lows in the mid to upper 70s. And then for Wednesday, we will see temperatures in the mid to low 90s, but that feels like we'll still be right around 100 degrees. So make sure you're staying safe. Chances of showers and storms could start to develop in the afternoon. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Free Snap Reads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, Ice, a little Bet365 time.
Let's talk about it, brother, because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. If you're new to Bet365, listen closely because they got a great new sign-up offer just for you. All you got to do, folks, you bet $5, you will get $150 in bonus bets whether your bet wins or loses. So sign on up, download the Bet365 app today. Check out their great website as well.
Yeah, I mean, you can boost bets.
Yeah,
they've got the safety net. You get up to $10 back in bonus bets if your same-game parlay loses. They got that in the MLB. You thinking baseball tonight?
Yeah, I'm going baseball. Got lucky yesterday. Bet on the best player in the sport. One of them, an Aaron Judge, to hit a home run AR. He took care of that in the first inning against my Reds.
Well
Just
done.
Perfect fit. Aaron Judge, GABP. This works, you know. It was on a tee for us.
Could have done the Ellie Judge combo.
Hey, Ellie is on one this year. He looks good. Right now, I'm looking at the rookie making his debut for my Cincinnati Reds. Chase Burns, the former Wake Forest Demon Deacon, is going to be a demon tonight against the Yankees. I'm going over his 5.5 Ks, plus 130 is the juice. He's a flamethrower. If you don't know about this kid, he transferred from Tennessee to Wake Forest, and he was a second overall pick in last year's draft for the Reds. So obviously he will be nervous, especially when Aaron Judge steps in the box, but I think with his stuff, AR, it'll be pretty electric. So I'm going over 5.5 Ks for Chase Burns. Again, the juice on that is plus 130.
I have Chris Bubich going for the Royals tonight in fantasy mental hedge. I'll take him under 5.5 Ks.
There you go. There you go. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Again, download the Bet365 app. Today, 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Offer subject to meeting qualifying criteria.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
All right, I did this for you, my man.
I appreciate
Since
you.
you've been quite the skeptic when it comes to O's the Mentalist. I find him incredibly entertaining and intriguing. Yes, I find myself trying to figure it out. I try to think that there's no way a human being could know the stuff he does or align it the way he does. My theory is that if he was a little stranger, we'd believe it more. I think he comes off way too he's just a good dude.
Yeah.
I just think he's almost too normal.
Okay.
And when someone has these dark powers, you want them to be more David Blaine-like and just be a little off. You're not really sure where he's coming from. He's a little too just normal to be this good at what he does, but Schefter knows him pretty well, and I quizzed him on O's the Mentalist on the legitimacy of him.
You know I'm a big fan of O's the Mentalist. You and I have talked about him before. He was on Get Up yesterday and did another amazing thing with hosts where he read their minds on players that they were thinking of. And not only that, it's spelled out in order, Get Up, with the first letter of their last names of the players they picked. Can you say for the record, please, to my co-host who's healing a bad back, that to your knowledge, nobody is, quote, in on this?
I could say beyond a shadow of a doubt, so help me God, swear on my life that nobody is ever in on this. Okay? I'm just telling you. In fact, I'm coming home from the studio right now, and Greeny, I had breakfast. He's like, can you explain to me how he does this? And I said, I cannot. He goes, but haven't you been with them over and over, traveling? Yes, I have. You don't know. I don't know how he does it. Somehow he gets people to a certain spot. I truly have never seen anything like it. I can assure you, so help me God, may lightning strike me dead right now. Nobody is in on that. Nobody. It is. I know some people will be skeptical. I'm telling you. Well, like, why would I say what I'm saying?
Right. I'm with you. Have you ever tested him privately, like not in a public setting for televised purposes? Traveling with him, knowing him, have you ever just kind of casually tested him with anything?
How about this? Last summer we were coming home from Pittsburgh together, where he had just performed for the Buffalo Bills, who were there to play the Steelers. So he's got a house way out on Long Island. So he was going in my direction. I took him home. He stopped in my house. My father-in-law was over. They've never met. So my father-in-law said, "You're a mentalist, huh?" "Yeah, I'm a mentalist." My father-in-law said, "Why don't you do something on me? Why don't you show me, that it's real?" So he said, "Okay, here's a piece of paper. Write down a name of one of your neighbors when you were growing up." He's never met my father-in-law. So my father turns around, can't see anything, and he goes, "Did you just write down, is there an L in the first name?" And my father-in-law goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Huh, you live next to Lenny?" And he goes, "Yeah, Lenny Futterman?" "Yeah." He goes, "And he was in apartment 4C, wasn't he?" And my father-in-law's jaw hit the ground. Was my father-in-law in it? I don't know. Maybe they had a conversation I don't know about before he showed up at my house that they wanted to do me. But I watched it and I've watched it over and over and over, and he never gets it wrong.
Yeah. Impressive. I'm entertained. It wasn't Lenny and Squiggy, was it? Laverne and Shirley.
No,
okay.
He got the name. He got the apartment number. My father-in-law was flabbergasted. Come on.
I know.
By the way, I remember we were at the Packers. There were a couple of guys that came out this is a setup. This is voodoo. We were in the room. Aaron Jones stood up after 3 tricks, and he goes, "You're just playing us." Just like Matty Ice, "You're playing us." And he goes, "Aaron, I'm not playing." And Aaron Jones was angry, okay? He was pissed off. And so he goes, "Aaron, I'm telling you the truth." He goes, "Okay, Aaron, here's a card. On the back of the card, I'd like you to write down your childhood nickname." And Aaron goes, "Okay." And always goes, "Does anybody in this room know your childhood nickname?" He goes, "Nobody." "So you've never told anybody your childhood nickname, Aaron?" He goes, "No." He goes, "All right." Aaron writes, he goes, "It's Booby." And Aaron Jones flipped over the card and it was Booby. Now, how would he know that? I don't know.
Well, because he's a professional athlete and his nickname's probably out there on the Google.
But his childhood nickname, not his current nickname.
I will say this. The examples Shefty used of his father-in-law, I need more of those than I do the
private
structured team events, structured get up, first take segments. Then I will start to come to the other side, AR, and see the light.
Here's how I think you would come to the other side. If every now and then He didn't get one.
Yeah, give me.
I think the whole batting 1,000 is what is maybe making you more skeptical, which I totally understand. Have you ever seen David Blaine?
Yes.
Okay, a little off, right? A little strange.
Some stranger things going on there.
You can believe that dude has some weird stuff going. This guy's too normal. He's everybody's all-American. He's just, how could he be like, use these powers for good? You're batting 1,000.
Can you go to school to become a mentalist?
No.
Is there Hogwarts available? Can you go to Hogwarts?
This is a God-given gift if it is what it is.
The definition
and maybe
of
he's perfected it somehow, but
yeah, maybe. Yeah, no doubt.
The thing with the father-in-law, Schefter even admitted this. He goes, could they have been playing me? Like, could he have somehow backdoored to get to the father-in-law to get some information?
It's a lot of work.
And then, well, if it's what you do, have you ever seen the, what's the magician? Now You See Me or whatever those
are actually good
series.
movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember the one trick that he talked about where the guy put the card in the tree and waited 40 years or whatever to that's what you go to those lengths when that's what you do.
Listen, you helped yourself with that case right there, that clip that I just heard from Shefty. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm ever going to get what I'm asking for, but that did back me off just a little bit. I guess so. Real quick, the definition of a mentalist.
Yeah.
A magician who performs feats that apparently demonstrate extraordinary mental powers such as mind reading. You have to be just born with this. I don't even think that it's real, honestly. I don't. But can you learn to become a mentalist at any type of capacity? That's what I want to know.
I think you can work on whatever it is you're good at and maybe just try to hone in on certain things. So in the movie Now You See Me.
Is that Woody Harrelson in that?
He is.
Yeah.
Lionel Shrike is the magician. He performs a trick where he signed a playing card, which is found inside a tree. The trick involves a card being signed by a volunteer, then placed in a hollowed-out part of a young tree. Over time, the tree grows around the card. 20 years later, the same volunteer signs another card, and the original card is revealed when the tree is cut down. And it's just basically 20, just set it up for a 20-year reveal.
Wow.
Anyway. All right, we'll see what tricks Pat Murphy has up his sleeve in Buckeye Nation. That's next in 2 minutes. Rothman Ice and the Fan.
This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we help Chad.
Hi, I'm Chad. I've been taking the low T treatment at Tri-State Men's Health for a little under a year now. So I was really just struggling with finding the energy to accomplish the things I wanted to do every day. By the end of the workday, I was very drained and tired and found it hard to concentrate and get my job done and was looking for something to kind of get that edge back. Once I started taking the treatment, I felt probably within the first 2 to 3 weeks more energy. And the thing that really I noticed right away was sleeping. Now I get a solid 8 hours. You know, I'm going on vacation. I'm enjoying myself. So men out there, if you're struggling with any of the symptoms I was, low energy, brain fog, lack of sleep, I would highly recommend you call Tri-State Men's Health. You won't regret it.
Thanks, Chad. It's true. Low T therapy will likely change your life. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Get ready to rock. Soft, that is. Nationwide Picnic with the Pops presents Yacht Rock Symphony, Saturday, June 28th, featuring all your favorite 70s and 80s super yacht rock hits on one stage with Ambrosia.
You're the biggest part of me.
Joined by John Ford Coley.
And I'd really love to see it tonight.
And Peter Beckett, the voice of Player. Don't miss this incredible night of hits, ending with a brilliant display of fireworks. June 28th at the Columbus Commons. For tickets, visit picnicwiththepops.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Anthony sometimes likes to sit and stare at his bundle of Emmy Awards. Unfortunately, it's through the glass of the pawn shop. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, we welcome in our friend Patrick Murphy. Covers Ohio State. Beat writer for Bucknuts 24/7. My man, how you feeling?
I'm good. Trying to stay cool. How are you guys doing?
Good. Just thought of this 2 seconds ago. More likely, Ohio State ends the losing streak against Michigan, or the Ohio State basketball team, the men's basketball team, wins one game in the NCAA tournament.
Oh, boy. I will go football team against Michigan.
What if I changed it to Ohio State just makes the NCAA tournament?
Okay. I think that one's pretty close. I think they have the talent to get in. I guess you never know once you're in if you win a game or two. I just think that this football team coming off of, you win the national championship, like the one thing left, not one thing, but the thing that Ryan Day still needs to do is get over this hump. And like for me, that's going to be something that's probably on these guys' minds throughout the season. I think everyone on the roster that was on the roster last year saw how disappointed, especially those senior class guys were, the Jack Sawyers of the world, to lose that game. And yes, you won the national championship, you got your ring, but now you have the opportunity to go to Michigan, kind of spoil the end of their season regardless of how it's going. So, I think the motivation is also strong, and we just talked to some of the returning guys on the basketball team to kind of get to this NCAA tournament and see what happens. I think that Michigan thing is going to be a big story when we get there.
Pat, the other day, I stumbled across some Arizona Cardinal stuff. I don't know how, but they were talking about the Buckeyes, and there's some people out there that believe Cody Simon is going to be a dude for them fairly quickly with what he's going to be able to do, obviously as a player, but a leader as well. Replacing Cody Simon, that leadership, the point A to point B tackling and all that good stuff we saw from him, like that linebacking room. Just talk about that unit a little bit and your expectations for them.
Well, I think you have a nice blend. You got Sonny Styles, who obviously Buckeye fans saw grow into that role next to Cody Simon last year. And we've heard Cody talk about what a leader he thinks Sonny will be. I think it was the Combine when he talked about Sonny would be his pick for the block go. So I think you've got that checked off. And then if Arvell Reese is continuing to be the, go get the ball, see ball, get ball type of player he was last year, plus he has another offseason and more experience under his belt, I think that's a pretty good tandem right there. I really like what we saw from Arvell in the spring, and then over at some of these camps this summer, he's somehow gotten bigger, which I did not think was possible. And then you add in Peyton Pierce, kind of the third guy in that room. If they decide to play three linebackers, which I'm sure they will at times, but in today's football, as you guys know, I'm not sure how often you can have three linebackers on the field. I think you've got a good group there, and there's some young guys too that could help out if needed, but yes, you're losing a big one in Cody Simon, but I think you have the necessary guys to step in and, maybe not lose much, if at all.
We started adding up receptions this year, and you knock off Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. Who's third in amount of catches this year?
Yeah, I think that's a more difficult question to answer since they brought in Max Clare out of the transfer portal. I think I would have just gone straight to Brandon Ennis. I did like some stuff we saw from Bryson Rogers in the spring as well, so I think he may get some reps in the slot with Brandon Ennis. I'd probably still go Ennis just because until I see a tight end catch, 40 passes on this team, I'm a bit skeptical of it. But talking to Keenan Bailey over the spring, he's excited for what Max Clare is going to bring and kind of the coverages that he'll have with all those other weapons out there. So I'll say Brandon Ennis, but I think Max Clare could be right there.
What about these running backs getting involved in that?
Yeah, I think the one guy that I don't think we're probably talking about much in that is C.J. Donaldson, and that's just because of his size. He looks like this big, physical, short yardage back. But in talking to him and talking to Carlos Lachlan throughout the offseason, that's a guy who he thinks can be involved in some of that stuff. He was a receiver tight end in high school, hasn't done a lot of it in college, but I know it's something that they've worked on. James Peoples also capable coming out of the backfield. Sam Williams-Dixon, though, if you want that third kind of that Curtis Samuel-esque role, probably not on the field as much, but he's a guy who can certainly do some of that stuff. You saw it if you watched him in high school. And I know that he's really worked on his game since entering the transfer portal and then coming back to the Buckeyes, and would like to be a big part of this. And maybe that's how he gets involved, is that third running back who can do a bit more of the pass catching stuff.
There's been a lot of talk, as you know, Pat, about, the D-line and what that will look like when you've lost so many talented players, first-round pick and a whole bunch of other draft picks there. In my mind, it's kind of gone to the secondary, because if they don't have a consistent pass rush, as you know, then the pressure is going to be on the DBs to hold up for probably longer than they want to. That unit on the back end, we know Caleb Downs is an All-American stud, top 15 pick, all that stuff in next year's draft. But the secondary this year, do you have the confidence that those guys will be able to cover consistently and maybe help out a defensive line that's going to be figuring out their way early on in the season?
That's Caleb Downs, the number 2 rated player in college football, 26, by the way, just behind one Jeremiah Smith. Yeah, I do. I think you need to find that other safety spot next to Caleb Downs, but I think you're at a really good starting point with having Caleb back, and then the guys that are competing with Malik Hartford and Jalen McClain and maybe Fahim Delaney for that spot. And then in terms of the corners, this is maybe one of the deepest corner rooms I can remember, and Ohio State's had some pretty good ones. Obviously, with Davison coming back, I know he's got to work on the grabbing, and that's been a big focus this offseason. But now you get Jermaine Matthews as a full-time starter after, kind of playing more and more as the season went on last year. I mean, that second half against the Texas game, I don't think he came off the field in a big spot. So you've got him coming in. You've got probably Lorenzo Styles stepping up in the slot. He's now been in the program and been on the defensive side of the ball for a few years. Aaron Scott Jr., Bryce West. I mean, the depth is certainly there at cornerback. So I think they've got that. Now, you still need the pass rush, right? You need to be able to get to the quarterback. These guys can't defend forever, regardless of how good they are. And that will certainly be something that we're going to be talking about a lot. But, yeah, in terms of the depth in the secondary, I'm pretty confident in what the Buckeyes have.
All right, my man. Great stuff as always. Stay cool. Hopefully we'll see you soon.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Pat Murphy, Bucknuts 24/7 on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fangest Hotline.
Yeah, that's just such a big deal for me, AR. It's like I know the talent on paper is there, but the additions via the transfer portal, like the kid from North Carolina and Bo Atkinson, right? You bring him in. Is he ready to be a consistent down in and down out, money down? We know that this guy's going to create static. So there's some guys in that room that need to become household names. I think the second level will be good with Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese, as Pat laid down. And the back end is in good hands too. But it's so important down there in the trenches that consistently they're going to have not only guys that can get home on pass rush downs, but hold up against the run. I think they had a really good combination of all of that last year with Tyleek and JT and Jack. That's going to be critical for them to find guys that they believe in and really have not only the belief, but productivity come along with it. Because I think if they do have that, that can help ease this Matt Patricia era as the new defensive coordinator and have them rolling sooner rather than later.
Early prediction.
Yeah.
If I put out a 24-hour poll or whatever we put out, and I say you have to make one bet for sizable cash, none of my soft earned dollars stuff that I talk about. Which one is it? The Buckeyes snap the UM streak or the Buckeyes make the big dance?
I am going to go with the football team going on the road to Ann Arbor and doing it. Because on Michigan's side of things, my gut AR is telling me that a true freshman quarterback will be playing for them. And I think that's going to be pretty eye-opening. Now, you can say the same thing about the inexperience.
But he would have had his whole season.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. But that game's different, as you know, right? It's different. I mean, you can say the same thing about Ohio State's quarterback. But there's something there for me where I'll believe that the defense will be in order by then, that my confidence would go that way more so than the basketball team.
It's so weird. It just popped in my mind like that.
You go basketball?
So even. Well, obviously, volume shooting, you got a bigger chance to make that field than in a one and done on the road. But with a 4-game losing streak going, you think that it would flip to Ohio State's way this year, coming off the Natty. What is your prediction on how the poll will work out when I put it out there?
Man, there's so much, I think, pessimism baked into both parties there. Right?
I'm with you. I think that vote goes more towards what you want to happen, not what you think might happen.
And if it's then it's going to be the Michigan game.
Overwhelming. Right. I think it would be probably 75-25 because of what you just said, that there's no proof yet in the basketball team. And even though we think that Coach Jake has a great squad with the like this one could come together. but the animosity, the anger, the streak, I think it's 75-25. We'll see. I'll put it out there. We'll come back with Tell the Truth. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
This summer, save more with hot deals on Meyer brand must-haves for $2 or less all season long.
Like Meyer potato chips?
Yep.
Hamburger buns?
Of course.
Ketchup?
Absolutely.
How about Meyer lemonade? That's my favorite.
Yep, that too. Plus pickles, baked beans, cheese slices for sandwiches. It's your favorite Meyer brand must-haves for $2 or less all season long.
That's a good deal better.
Only at Meyer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meyer app.
Hey, it's Anthony for my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Summer savings, Rich is backing it up. He has rates as low as 0% and leases starting from $249 a month. How about a 25 Honda HR-V LX CVT two-wheel drive? Lease it for only $259 a month. 36 months, 30,000 miles with only $30.39 down. And all trades deserve a sweetener. He's giving you an extra $1,000 for yours. See them for all the details. Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
It's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place. Leslie, what's that hot lamp against your window for?
Pella windows are tested up to 160 degrees, Wilson, to ensure efficiency and the lowest energy bills possible, even in the craziest of temperatures. Put your hand on there.
All right. Oh, that's hot.
On the window, Wilson.
Oh, hey, that is quite nice and cool. So I'm going to go grab some ice now.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rated #1 for innovation at PellaColumbus.com.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Nashville's hottest band, Old Dominion, is coming to Great American Ballpark on July 10th as part of the Ohio Lottery post-game concert series. After the Reds take on the Marlins, all fans in attendance are invited to stay and enjoy a set from Old Dominion. Plus, you can upgrade your ticket to a pit field pass for an up-close view of the show. For tickets and more information, visit reds.com/concerts.
If only there was a radio show that constantly talked about Ohio State athletics. Well, good news. It's real, baby. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Proud to be your flagship home of the Buckeyes. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Going up. Prices keep going up these days. It feels like being on an elevator that only goes up. Going up. But not at Metro. We're pushing the down button. Going down. We've lowered prices. Get one line of 5G data for $40, period. That's 20% lower. And you get a free Samsung 5G phone when you bring your number. Only at Metro.
5-year guarantee on eligible plans. Exclusions apply. See website for details. Not available at Metro with T-Mobile in the past 6 months. Tax applies.
Road trip! This summer at Tire Discounters, your tires are your passport to savings, because you're driving to Paris,
Texas!
Then it's off to Rome,
Georgia!
And you'll be kissing the Blarney Stone in Dublin,
Ohio!
Right now, save up to $494 when you buy 4 tires, and that includes a free alignment and oil change. Stop at Tire Discounters before you see the world.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Tell the Truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Window Nation. Now buy 4 windows, get 4 free. Plus a free entry door with a house of windows. Visit windownation.com.
All right, my prediction for the poll, which will end tomorrow at this time, which is you have to make one huge money bet for the season. You have to choose one to put all your money on. Buckeyes snap the UM streak on the road, or the Ohio State men's basketball team makes the big dance.
My lean,
it's going to be minimum 75-25, I think, in favor of the football team.
That's a pretty strong percentage. I think there's a lot of doubt hovering around Buckeye Nation right now when it comes to that game. How could there not be, based off of the last few? Now, you're still feeling good. You're the reigning and defending national champ. So that is going to always, I think, absolve some of that pain. But at the end of the day, the two options that you've given people, there's doubt in both at a high level. I really believe that. I just think when you get to the football game, look, there's going to be some names that emerge from Michigan that we don't know about just yet. But they're rolling into that thing with the two best players in the country that don't play quarterback, and Caleb Downs and Jeremiah Smith. And I just think they're ahead of Michigan right now on paper. However,
they did that last year.
Exactly.
They rolled into that game.
We were saying that last year, so I could be wrong. But I'm just going to go AR. I'm going to lean towards the football part in that poll.
Yeah. It's the money. You got to take everything you own and put it on it. That's where the confidence comes from. What are you most confident in?
I don't know how you could have confidence in either option right now.
I don't have a massive comp. I trust right now, not knowing what the basketball team can be.
Yeah.
Yet the field, just getting in the field, seems doable this year. Versus, I feel like there's more control with the football. There's just more control in it now. It doesn't mean that it would happen.
Yeah.
Like if you asked Vegas to do this, I don't know what would
be the favorite.
I don't know where they would go with this.
I think they would lean
the basketball
towards...
team is so unproven as far as they were close, and they've got that core coming back. Think about the minutes and points they have coming back amongst those three.
I just can't throw a whole bunch of confidence over to the basketball side.
Making the field.
And it's 60-plus teams.
Okay.
I get it. So you'll lean basketball. I'll go.
No, I'm not. No.
So you're coming to my side.
I have more control just in my mind.
Yeah.
You have to put all of your everything you have. You have to choose one.
Oh, man.
They both might happen.
Correct.
Both may not happen.
I don't know. Also correct.
All right, we'll update it tomorrow.
Right.
I'm in the...
That's cool. Sounds good.
In just predicting the poll, I think it'll be 75 or north of that for football. That's just my early feel.
Okay.
All right, TLC, take us home.
All right, the sponsorless fan poll today, as I have in my notes, is which position do you feel the most confident in at Ohio State beyond the wide receiver room? We have QB, LB, DB, or other.
You said wide receivers off the board?
Wide receiver is off the board. That's a little bit too obvious. I'm making you think.
I think it's
or Bodie is
secondary for me.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. You're including Caleb,
absolutely,
in that.
He's got
not just the corners.
Mm-hmm. Well, it said defensive back,
and that's the way to go.
So you got to deal with Davis and Igbenogsen's pass interferences every 3 games.
Hey, but you also got the pick of the century against Penn State. Probably the play that saved the entire game.
Enter Jermaine Matthews Jr. that is hungry, waiting for this chance. Devin Sanchez is supposed to be
he'll lock it down,
freshman that's supposed to be helpful this year. So that's a good call, AR. I think it's Coach Lachlan for me. I'm in on the running backs. I think that running back room is going to be pretty doggone good. James Peoples was knocking on the door last year of getting opportunities. Now, when you had 2 NFL caliber running backs, there's only so many opportunities to go around.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the addition of Donaldson from West Virginia, hearing how much he's really locked in on taking care of his body and all that, I'm in. I think that running back room is going to be a big help to the young quarterback, whoever that is. So I'm going to go running back room. I think AR is making the right call, though, because when you start with Caleb Downs, that's a statement for sure. But I like the running backs on paper. I think they're going to be pretty good.
Are you familiar with this O's the Mentalist?
No.
No. So what a letdown that was.
No.
How could Tyvis Powell have never heard of that guy?
You know what I think it speaks to? Is that
look up on SportsCenter.
We're all in our own bubbles. Tyvis
he called it Tyvis land.
He's got kids and he's working all over. We're all
kids.
We're all in our own bubble.
More than he sees his kids.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
You may not be wrong. He does work a lot.
He's not.
He does work a lot. I'm just saying, I like to always remind myself that everybody has a whole bunch of stuff going on in their own, and we all like different things.
That's true.
Again.
Are you familiar with this O's the Mentalist?
No.
Why would I? In another episode of Man, Do I Feel Old?
It reminds me of the scene from Friday. You want some of this too, old man? No.
Give me Chase Burns' stat line tonight.
Go ahead.
6 1/3, 7 Ks, 6 hits allowed, 2 walks.
How many runs?
I'm going to go 2 earned runs.
Okay, I was about to say, if you were implying that there would be 0, that'd be quite bold.
No, I'm not going shutty.
So I was quoting, this is another episode of Don't I Feel Really Old? And this is probably accurate. I was quoting a line just casually walking through the office today from the Super Bowl Shuffle. And our amazing producer goes, that Bears? And I went, oh. The fact there was a question mark on the end. He got it right. But the fact there was like a question mark, no, it made me feel really old that you weren't sure that the Super Bowl Shuffle was the 85 Bears. That's
okay.
all.
You weren't shaming me for not knowing definitively?
No. Well, no, I said, don't I feel old? And it was so long ago.
Hey, if you guys miss anything from our show, don't worry. You can always catch up wherever you get your podcast because Bet365 sponsors the Rothman and Ice podcast. All you have to do is type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3. We'll be waiting there for you. Common Man and T-Bone coming up next. Common Man says he's got a bone to pick with T-Bone. So you don't want to miss that.
Or Timmy, even though you said.
What did I say?
Twice.
My goodness.
Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Oh, hey, the best football team in the country's on the best radio station in the country. Congratulations, Buckeyes. Here's to 100 more years together. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
This just in from the Lindsay Honda Newsroom. It's our big anniversary sale. 0% for up to 60 months has been extended on all new Hondas. Try the new 2025 CR-V LX all-wheel drive with 0% financing.
Lower your rate, lower your payment.
Save thousands on hundreds of new Hondas when you buy now.
With so many Hondas, why would you go anywhere else?
Shop the big, the beautiful Lindsay Honda now. Visit lindsayhonda.com for details.
Hey, it's Anthony. Comfort is king. We all strive for it, but life gets in the way. You know that. And oh, my aching feet is not just a cliche. That's why the Good Feet store, in my opinion, has the best arch support solutions engineered to help you and me live the life we love without pain. For more than 30 years, they've taken great pleasure in helping thousands discover the comfort they've been dreaming of. I'm a customer. I have their 3-step system put right into all my shoes. They support, balance, and strengthen my feet and really guide them right into their ideal position. Every step I take, every move I make, I get relief. Not from the song, although I love that, but from my personally fit arch supports from the Good Feet store. Your free fitting is designed to help them understand you, your pain, and your discomfort, your personalized system. You'll walk out wearing your new arch supports hassle-free and begin living the life you love without pain. The Good Feet store on Stringtown Road in Grove City or Polaris Parkway. Learn more at goodfeet.com.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
Hey, Tinsley, why don't we use EasyCater to order food for staff lunches?
Because my 46-page acronym system is so easy. I just have to salad, stay alert to late arriving deliveries, pie, put in expenses, and Google Pie. Go out and get everyone's preferences and allergy information.
That's supposed to be simple?
No, simple is Steve and Irma and Margie prefer lasagna and empanadas.
OMG.
No need to make work life more complicated. Just use EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Summer is finally here. That means long days, warm nights, barbecues, sporting events, and that vacation you've been planning for months. The last thing you want to deal with is a leaking roof or unexpected damage to your home. At Newman Roofing, we understand that life gets busy and your time is important. And that's why we designed our entire process around you. Whether it's your roof, siding, or gutters, we believe in doing things the right way, not the rushed way. No high-pressure sales, no pushy pitches, just honest conversations from professionals who respect your time and your home. When you call Newman Roofing, here's what you can expect. First, we'll take time to diagnose the issue, not just slap on a quick fix. Then we'll present clear, quality solutions and answer your questions so you can make the best decision for your family and your budget. And right now, we're offering special financing options so you can protect your home without putting your summer plans on hold. So go ahead, fire up the grill, pack your bags, or hit the ball field. Let Newman Roofing take care of the rest. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.